Hey, it's Jacob Wheeler, and you are listening to Jigs and Bigs.
Jigs and friggin' Bigs. Listen, we have another absolute banger of an episode on deck for you right here, folks. This week, we have some stuff that we got to talk about. It's ice out here in Western Massachusetts. It's official. And your boy managed to catch them, though it did take a little bit of work. I'll explain the details. Also, last week, we may have struck a chord with the tournament community for real. And we have some perspective in the live well to share with you. Plus, some new tech is getting some people all fired up. What's coming down the pipe that has all these old folks going, "Get off of my lawn"? Hobbyist Fishing joins us in the beef seat this week, too. And we'll be talking with Xander about JDM, bait finesse, and figuring out what this Boston-baked bass angler thinks is superior, the North Shore beef or the South Shore bar pizza. Plus, it is spring and spawn this week in Just the Tip. You don't want to miss out on all this. We got so much good stuff coming up for you right after this. Go ahead, get yourself something delicious to enjoy. Let's go. It's been a week, Joe. It's been a week. I like that. What is that little middle finger figurine?
Bro, I have my kid make the best shit on his 3D printer.
That's awesome. That's homemade. That's local. Support local business.
Dude, I gotta show you some of this stuff. I gotta show you. Like,
listen, if it's anything like this,
Bobby,
we don't need to see.
Yeah, go ahead and do. I gotta go grab a couple things.
Go ahead,
because for our ADD, like my borderline autistic brain, he shows me this stuff. I'm like, oh my god,
that's possible.
Go ahead,
you got it. I'll do the housekeeping, guys. Welcome to Jigs and Bigs, man. We got ourselves one hell of a good one. What the hell is Jigs and Bigs? Maybe you're a first time listener. Maybe you live under a rock. Listen, we're Jigs and Bigs. I am your host, Bobby Roast Beef. That other guy I was just talking to, that is Joe Brown, American Vet Fishing. He's also the owner and proprietor of American Vet AVF Tackle, and we're talking over at AVF Tackle. We got JDM baits. We've got some high-end premium domestic baits as well, and some JDM reels, all kinds of good stuff. You got to check out avftackle.com. Listen, we have all kinds of stuff happening with Jigs and Bigs. We're a weekly podcast. We are all about fishing in general. So we talk about the fishing community. It's what we love the most. We give some tips, some tricks. We engage with the audience. And you're going to hear us talk with some folks that we'll reference as we're recording the show. Those are our jig heads. And there are followers over at Patreon. Every single week, they get a link to check out this as an unlisted live stream that they get to check out and comment and be part of the show as it's going down. We do have some merch. If you like what we're doing here, you can go to jigsandbigs.com. You can check out merchandise. You can also check out links for the Jigs and Bigs online tournament trail. Yeah, it's a nationwide trail. We do slot limit series to kind of keep things even for everybody. And we also have a brand new team trail. We've got one region already that encompasses a good chunk of the Northeast. Check that out because there's teams that are signing up all over the place. Plus, we are the originators in the multi-species scavenger hunt tournament, and that happens twice a year. The championship is coming up also this spring. You're not going to want to miss it. We got all kinds of good stuff. If you do enjoy the show, you know we're available on every single podcast platform that you're out there with. Don't forget to hit us with a rating and review on that platform. It helps us out a ton. And if you really like the show and you want to engage a little bit, you're going to hear a couple of segments where we've got phone calls coming in. FTG, our live well segment. Think of that as like a mailbag segment. FTG is where you could air a grievance. You can call or text us on the hotline. The number is 413-324-8519. Go ahead and put that number in your phone right now because if you like the show, this is a great way to go ahead and engage with us. 413-324-8519. And do we have, Joe is back. He is back. Look at that. Perfect timing, Joe.
Perfect timing. Look at that.
So what do we got? Show me what we got here. What?
Oh, yeah.
He made that?
Made it in his 3D printer. Ready? So you got this thing. Oh, that's pretty cool, right?
That's pretty sweet. Shut up.
What? Check this fucking thing out, dude.
I don't even want to know what you do with it. That's pretty freaking sweet, man. That's insane.
Dude, he slings these things. He sets up a table at the end of our driveway, like every day, dude, and like just slings fucking 3D prints like other kids do lemonade.
Are you serious? That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Holy crap, dude. That's kind of crazy. It's amazing what technology has kind of brought to us. You know,
Yep.
It really is, man. It's kind of crazy.
We bought him a nice one for Christmas, and then he bought his own, like another real nice one. Dude, he's always got two going at the same time. It's probably why my fucking electric bill is like $600.
Well, speaking of 3D printing, your boy got some 3D printed items in the mail today. I ordered another couple of packs of the Slot Tech organizers for my ballistics 3.7 boxes, and they just showed up today. And I've been doing some work on the boat, getting some things in order, shit that's like needed to go down. In fact, why don't we do this? Why don't we go ahead? We'll recap our weeks right here. I got a couple of notes that I took that are pretty freaking crazy. You remember, Joe, last week, I talked about that wedding that is scheduled smack dab in the middle of the multi-species scavenger hunt.
Yes.
So I had the meeting with the couple and I talked to them and I was like, all right, guys, I was like, looking forward to this. We're going to talk about script for your vows, all that stuff. We'll go over all the details and the whole timeline and work it all out. But I go, before we do, I want to be completely transparent with you on how this is going to work on my end. And I was like, I am going to be in the middle of a nationwide tournament championship that I've been looking forward to for over a year. But I go, I am going to get off the water in enough time to be presentable for your wedding, marry the two of you, and then I'll be back out on the water. And the groom was like,
bro, that's awesome.
So I'm like, okay, this is good. This is great. So this ought to be really, really interesting. It's going to be really good. I should also mention that this week's guest, we have Hobbyist Fishing on here. Now, Joe, have you seen Hobbyist Fishing on YouTube at all?
I may have.
Or
it's not like more jumping out at me, but I may have.
So his stuff is really, especially as like a JDM guy, you're going to want to pay attention to Xander because he's got like his finger on the pulse of the international bait market. Like, I mean, really gets into it, dissects a lot of baits to get an idea of like what's going on, like internally and stuff like that. Like he's really, really into this shit. And I'm full disclosure, folks, we're supposed to record tomorrow morning. He and I am going to be recording from the gas station adjacent to the launch where I'm launching my boat. And I was like, I'm fishing with Binya. And dude, it was this past Monday. So it was even earlier than that. It was almost a full week. And I told Binya we were going to fish that day. And he like posted a pic of like all his gear ready to go. I'm like, I don't even know if it's going to rain or what's going to happen, man.
It's supposed to be cold tomorrow.
We're going to freeze our tits off. It's going to be bad. It's going to be real cold. But that's why I was like, well, this kind of works out well because I'm recording with Xander at 10. And then we're going to launch probably about 11:30 or 12, fish until like 6 and then call it. And I'll explain why I think that's a good idea because I did manage to get out on the water this week. I finally caught my first fish of 2026. Finally.
Nice.
So I was on my way home from work. This must have been Wednesday, or not home from work. I was on my way back home from dropping off the kid, and I go to check out Congamon Jr. and I'm like, I wonder how that's doing because I haven't been by in a while. It's wide open. I was like, okay, looks like that's what we're gonna do on Thursday. So I was getting things together this week. Went and hit the water on Thursday. It was pretty awesome. I wanted to go out primarily to fish with those two combos that I'm working with, the new Sniper 2s from ARC. And I got out and I had, like I said, one of those is a big confidence bait, dedicated combo, like finesse swim baits, like smaller, more compact, like moving baits, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's the combo that's got that JDM Tatula that I bought from AVF Tackle. That's on there. I caught both fish on that combo.
Nice.
The other one is my first glass rod, and dude, it is crazy. I was throwing a 1/2 ounce rattle trap on that. The way that thing loads up, and I can like launch these baits. Granted, that's a 7.4 stick, so like that extra length helps. But I was like, holy shit, this thing loads up, and it's I kind of like it. I really do. So that is going to be used more obviously for like deep cranking and stuff like that, and it's pretty badass. I do think I need to pick up another reel, because what I'm using on there it's great because it's slow, but that reel's been through some shit. It's seen some things.
And it ain't good.
And I think maybe it might be time to kind of let that go and upgrade a little bit, but we'll figure all that out. But yeah, I got on my first fish. I was out there at like 10 a.m. I want to say it was like 10 in the morning is when I launched, and I don't think I got a bite until like 1 o'clock. And I went to some spots where the structure would make me think that there were fish around. And I was pretty much looking around like that, like 10 foot to 20 foot sort of area, looking at the deeper water for the most part, but where things would kind of ramp up to more of a shallow flat. And I was looking around at some stuff, and I get into this one area. There was only one other boat on the water with me. We had some wind going, and I was about like 1 or quarter after I hooked into my first fish, which was a rainbow trout on a 3-inch swim bait, and it was super shallow, or super deep rather. And I let this bait hit the bottom, and I was just kind of crawling it along the bottom, and it just hammered this swim bait. My GoPro was not rolling. Luckily, the rear camera, the DJI, caught the whole thing. I really like, it was absolute chaos, and I'll explain what that means. I get the fish in the net. I'm like, all right, cool. Remove the bait and everything, and I hold him up by the camera, and I realize that the GoPro's not on. I was like, you motherfucker. So I'm like, oh shit, and I released the fish because I had a little bit of a dilemma that I had to deal with. So then I fixed that. I got my second fish. I was like, okay, so that's one fish. I found fish. I'm not leaving. Let's figure it out. Threw a blade bait a little bit, thinking I could kind of target them a little bit. I switched back to that finesse swim bait, same thing. And I got smoked by a nibbler largemouth. So that's one bass for the year, 2 fish overall. I'm here for it. I'm loving life. But the dilemma is that I got out on the water, and I had, you remember the week prior, I was out with my buddy Paul, and I had issues with my remote for my trolling motor, right? Changed that battery, and the sucker's been great. No issues. It's been awesome. This last outing, I go out, and it was blowing pretty good, the wind, and I'm like, I'm just gonna lock down here and just kind of fan cast and cover this area. This is with the trap initially, and as I do, my trolling motor starts just going in circles, like rotating around. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So then I was like, all right, so I stop this, and I position myself so I'm facing into the wind, and I just lower the speed, and I kind of use that to kind of hold that position, and it worked fine. It did okay, but once I realized the problem, once I get the fish, I like to hit spot lock then. Like, even if I'm not using spot lock for anything else, if I get bit, as soon as I'm hooked up, I'll grab the remote and just hit the anchor button, and just boom, we're good. Well, the problem with that is I do that not even thinking about it, and I'm immediately getting blown into the bank. So I'm like, oh shit. So I just released this fish, and I was like, we're out, done. I'm just going to go. I had the live well full of water. I could have thrown them in the live well. I wasn't even thinking. I'm like, let's just fix this now. So that's what I did. I did a little research. I know you and I talked this morning a little bit. I think you're right. I think it's a calibration thing.
Yeah.
Tomorrow when I hit the water with Binya, I will be recalibrating as soon as we're out on open water. So that should be all right. Had an issue with the wiring for my console unit, my Lowrance up there. That was giving me a hard time. I fixed that today. So it's just been a whole thing. But we're sending it now. It's now that we've splashed the boat. It's game on. There's no turning back.
Right.
Man, what else? This week was kind of crazy. Let's see. Oh, good news. I had my interview over at the local PD, and your boy's got his LTC.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Good to go. And it was like, and in fact, I love it because he even said, he was like, your record is the most boring record I've ever seen. And I'm like, yeah, that's how I like it. And he goes, fair enough. Fair enough. So that's good to go. Also, welcome to the Bait Finesse family. Paul took a leap. And yeah, his wife was like, dude, I don't know what to get you for your birthday this year. His birthday's in May. And he goes, you know what? I have been toying around with this idea of getting into bait finesse. You know, Bobby's been out just absolutely like hammering them with bait finesse over the last couple of years. And I think it would be a whole lot of fun. And he's looking at, so he asked me, he's like, what should I do? I made a couple of recommendations. He goes, well, I can get a bunch of this stuff. Like I can get the rod and reel from Arc, right? I was like, yeah, absolutely. And you can save some money with the code Jigs and Bigs over at arcrods.com. And that's what he did. He picked up one of the Bass Finesse rods and the Gravity BFS reel. And then he asked me about a bunch of baits. And I was like, oh, buddy, we're going to have some fun. So I sent him some Dark Horse links. I sent him some links directly to other, like some of the Virtuous Cycle, HH Customs. I sent them links to what else? Oh, mule fishing. And speaking of Dark Horse, I'm going to be doing some road testing of some very, very cool stuff. Like effective, I think, next week. So there will be some footage on YouTube, and I'm going to have some fun with this. By the way, I came home from trivia one night, and we'll just say that there was a little bit of fish whistle inspiration. And I said to my wife, I was like, hey, what do you think of this if I give this content this kind of spin? I already talked to Zek about it. And I can tell as I'm explaining it to her, she's trying to not laugh at me. She's trying to be nice.
About as hard as she can. She's trying to be nice.
And I'm like, you think I'm an idiot, don't you? And she's like, well, I mean, I don't understand the point. I mean, I was like, you've told me all you need to tell me.
That's exactly letting me know it's going to land with the right people.
100%. It's going to land with the right people.
Yep.
So yeah, we're gonna have ourselves a little bit of fun. It's gonna be good. But this is some top secret shit that I think is gonna be unbelievable. And I got a preview of what's on the way. And there are some of these items I am already about, I would say, somewhere between 40 and 60% of these items I am already 100% dialed on. Like, and have experience with, and I'm looking forward to it, dude. It's gonna be so good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. It's been a pretty wild week. And then the team derbs, the team trail on Fishing Chaos, dude, it's filling up. I think we already have like 6 teams for April.
Sick.
For April. Like, that's crazy. So it's happening. If you guys are into this, I did add a link for all the tournaments over at jigsandbigs.com. So over at jigsandbigs.com, there's a button that says click here. Just click that. It brings you over to like our link tree kind of thing. And you right over there's a link for all of the Jigs and Bigs tournaments. You just click that one link and it'll give you every single one because you can register for the whole bit right now. So go ahead, check that out. If there's a month that works better for you, go ahead and register for it. The slot limit tournaments are coming up, and there is talk that in the month of June, there will be a bonus slot limit tournament that is going to be a team format. That'll be pretty cool. Nationwide, so everybody will be able to work with it. The demand for other regions is already crazy. So many people are like, oh, yeah, I'd love to get into this. And I'm like, we haven't put that region together yet, guys, but we'll get there. We'll figure it all out. I think it's going to be pretty sweet. And yeah, I mean, that was my fishy week overall. How was your fishy week, Joe?
Not terribly fishy. I did not get out on the water like you did. I wish I had. I just couldn't get it together. I've been flirting with the idea Sunday. We'll see what happens. But
there you go.
I want to be able to, I got a couple things on the boat I kind of want to organize and do. So I want to make sure I get all that shit done. Because if I like keep going fishing instead
it'll
of
never
doing
get done,
it,
right?
I'll never do it.
Yeah. And I it's so funny, man, because I was dealing with the same shit. I was like, oh, I want to get this handled. I want to get this done. And I did. This week, I got a lot of my tackle. I threw out a whole bunch of stuff that I'm not using in the boat. I reorganized a bunch of stuff. I'm using my storage differently. Yeah. But I was waiting on a few things to show up to get all of the details exactly where I want them. And we're just making it work.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So not super fishy, like I said. I did make a purchase for the boat, though.
You mentioned this. Let's
talk about this. Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, on my boat, I run live scope, and I don't run my live scope on my trolling motor. I run it on what they call a turret.
Yep.
Essentially like a forward face sonar turret. So it's totally independent of the trolling motor. So if I'm in spot lock, I still can independently move the live scope to stay focused on a certain point. I was using the right height turret, it's called. Kind of one of the OGs, but stayed like didn't modernize. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like now I've seen like the new ones that have come out, and like the right height is just like, you know, no shame against them, but it's just like kind of like hot garbage in comparison to what's out there now.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I've had issues with the pedal. As pretty much the only issues I've had is with the pedal. Constantly having to go in and screw with the connections and whatnot. I was just kind of sick of it. Dan Griffin has the DD26 live foot on his.
Oh yeah.
And it's like such a superior product, in comparison to the right height. So I made the leap and I went and I bought the DD26 live foot. So that should be here hopefully tomorrow. We'll see.
Nice.
Tomorrow, Monday. So Dan's going to give me a hand putting that on. So that's a purchase I made for the boat. Just
awesome.
Kind of upgrading that.
Yep.
What else fishy? Dude, I did a Whatnot show last night.
Oh, you did?
The first one since like ABF Tackle took off or launched. I did that. That was fun. That was a good time. It was a blast actually. Like Shan was in there. Like, dude, it's so fun. There's so much like ball busting, just like in here, dude. Yeah. It's so much like ball busting everything. Everyone, it ended up very good. I ended up doing very well. Because I want to get some of the brands that I carry out there out into the world, as well as just kind of getting avftackle.com out there as well. So there's Kyle. Do you know Kyle, Bobby?
I don't know that I do.
Kyle Costa is another one that I met through Whatnot. Through Whatnot.
Oh, all right.
He came, dude. He's a Mass guy. He lives in Mass.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Yep. So he lives on a lake out east. I won't
blow up his spot.
I won't say here.
Yeah.
But I will say I will tell Bobby offline. It's a lake I've fished quite a few times. I've both struggled and done well. In tournaments. No, solid dude. I was on the phone with him last night.
Nice.
Dude, he's I'm so glad he's in here because he is like has the perfect personality to be a jighead, dude. He's a solid dude. I like that guy. But no, he came up to me at the expo one day. He's like, hey, it's Kyle Cossack. I remember because he used to buy a shit ton from me on Whatnot.
Yep.
I was like, holy shit. And then we fought over the Megabass Mad Bullet Spence's booth, and I got it.
That's how it is.
Yeah, he backed down. I puffed out my chest and he backed down. So no, he allowed me. He saw it first, but allowed me to take it. But no, anyway,
yikes.
Yeah, Shan, dude. You know what Shan bought off me last night?
What's that?
The show got a little wild, Bobby.
Okay.
I ran a few reels.
Really?
Shan got a Metanium off me.
Oh my God, dude. Shan. So what you're saying to me is that Shan is in the doghouse right now.
Shan is probably going to be in the doghouse. Yeah. And
poor guy.
He got it for a good price. But he got it for a good.
A sweet reel. Those Metaniums are no joke.
So he doesn't know much about him. So he was like, whoa, did I make a mistake? I was like, no. I was like, the Metanium's absolutely a gnarly reel, dude. You're going to throw that thing and you're going to be like,
what size?
I don't want to throw anything else.
What size was it that he picked up? Do you remember? Or Shan, if you remember, put it in the comments here. But
it's a 100 size. It's 100.
Oh, it's 100.
Reel.
Okay, nice.
It's a 7.3 to 1. I think it's 7.3 or 7.4 to 1. So good all around reel.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Do a lot.
So yeah, he's a He's a maniac. Actually, Kyle was a maniac on the show last night too. He bought a bunch of shit. But dude, it was good to be back on Whatnot. Like, I got to be careful about certain things now that I have like the business. But
yeah. But
dude,
also,
I had a blast.
It's got to be really beneficial overall because, like, Whatnot is commerce, but it's commerce meets community. And, like,
yes,
when you're an online shop, like when you had Old Glory, you had commerce and community. You did events and people would meet up there and talk about their day on the water. But like Whatnot kind of allows you to do something similar in a virtual setting. And that's pretty, well, as is this. Like Jigs and Bigs is the same idea.
Yep. Yeah. So no, it was a good time, dude. It was. And you know me, I go to bed pretty early on weeknights because I got work. So I was like, I went from like 7 to 9 last night.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Dan came over. He popped in randomly and he ended up helping me out a little bit because I didn't have help, and it was, dude, I was just like, so normally I'm very, and I talked to Kyle about this last night. He called me right after the show.
Yep.
I'm very strategic about how I do I line everything up perfectly so I can be like, okay, item 1, I put it right back. Item 2, put it right back. And I put the sticker on it. So I know when I'm packing, I'm okay. I know 33's over here. Dude, I was grabbing shit from all over the place last night. So like I started to pack before the show and I'm just like,
you gotta watch
scratching my head.
You gotta watch the Whatnot back in order to see.
Yeah. Like, cause like everything's scrambled. So I'm like, oh, what the fuck? I can't find 46.
Yeah.
So I gotta hit the Whatnot receipt, the video. I'm like, oh, okay, there it is. You know,
that is good that there's at least that little failsafe. You know, yeah, that's cool.
Thank God, dude. If I didn't have that video receipt, I would have been kicked off. I would have 2 stars, dude. I would have 2 stars.
I ordered a reel from him and then he sent this. I don't know what is going on.
Oh, I ordered these Sakamata shads, but I guess this Pop Max will do. Everyone just gets what they get. I don't care what you bought. Everyone just gets what they get.
Oh my God. Bert nailed it. He says,
dude, and I wasn't even drinking last night either. I wasn't even drinking last night. Dude, I did it sober. Last night. Thank God, because it got crazy sober. If I was drunk last night, dude, I don't even know what would have happened. So I did that. Blast throughout. I do have some t-shirts, Bobby. So I threw a couple of those in a box.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Shan's too big for him. She's like, ooh, do you have a whatever X long fucking with certain colors, certain size sleeves? And it's got to be Egyptian cotton. I'm like, all right, dude, I'll just send you a fucking hat when I get hats.
That's the way to do it, man. Hats are the greatest. Yeah, I'm just saying, man. No sizes. It's great. It is great.
Yep. So friggin'. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that. Kyle just says, man, you had crazy gifting going on. I think it's awesome. Because Kyle wanted to bid. He's like, hey, give it to this guy that he was also bidding. Like, because they had some gift war going on another show. Bro, that fucks me up so bad. I was like, I love it, but you guys are fucking killing me, and you're gonna have to send me a message or call me or something, because I'm gonna forget.
I didn't even think about that. That could be an absolute train wreck. Shit's going to the wrong. Yeah.
Yep. But no, it was good. And then, dude, today, as I'm walking down the show, I get a box. I get a box. You guys want to talk about some stuff that just came in?
Yeah. What do we got? I'm gonna put you on solo layout so we get a good view of this.
Yep. So unfortunately, the some of the hide-up stuff, like the koikis and the fish and stuff like that, are back ordered to like June, July.
Yep. Oh, which is okay.
Awful. But we did just get these in, which are the koiki Judy fish.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's badass. Yeah. Is that like a tube, a tail? Like it's a bunch of strands?
Dude, it's a bunch of strands. It's basically like a jerk shad like or something like that. Yeah. But it's just like all strands, dude.
Oh,
just several different strands. Yep.
Oh, that is dope, dude.
Yep. And there's a ton of them.
So we are working on a guest. It's actually, I believe, a trio. And if this works out, and they're on the show, they have a very unique piece of equipment, piece of tackle that plastic might be a home run on.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. It is
what else we got here?
Pretty amazing. That's freaking awesome, dude.
So we got these too, Bobby. This is not my first order of these. I've had these. I haven't put them on the site yet. Because it's a smaller company, so you got to get product photos are a little tougher and shit like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But these are. Have you heard of Cyclops jigs?
I have heard of Cyclops jigs.
You
carrying them?
The light kind of sucks, but so these are cool, man. So these are great for the stuff like the 6 Sense panorama or anything. It's a jig head, but the reason why they call it the Cyclops jig is because the eye's on the bottom. It's just a single eye on the bottom instead of two on the sides.
I wonder,
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, and I believe they're BKK hooks too.
Okay,
I believe.
How light do you have them? What's the smallest size you got?
Oh, I want to say 1/8 is the smallest I've got.
Okay, cool.
These are quarters.
Yep.
They are lead. And then I have this smaller company he sent me to try. Oh, it doesn't even have a label, so I can't even tell you. Damn it, Jeremy. If you're listening, I know you're gonna listen. So yeah, I got those. I got the Judy fish. I got a bunch of the Judy fish, a ton of different colors. I have a whole box of them, so I'm hoping those sell good. Dude,
that's awesome.
The Koike. So those Hags prickly pairs.
Oh yeah,
19 millimeters. They sold out in 2.5 days.
They're wicked popular. Yeah,
sold out in 2.5 days. As soon as I put them on Instagram, dude, it was just immediately. So. Not only that, I'm good. Not only that, the 9.9 millimeter, those have been going like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I put I announced that I had the Yamamoto Unis, their version. Those are, I only have like a handful of those left.
Yep.
It's so crazy seeing what's popular. And then, dude, outside of that, I'm just getting ready to fish, dude. I want to fish so bad.
That's all we can do,
I want to fish so bad, dude. If the water's ready now, I just need to get the boat ready. I am kind of having. I don't want to say it's a battery issue, and I think it actually might be that turret that I have on there now.
Oh, really? Okay.
But my batteries are real good as when I shut the boat all off.
Yep.
They just go into standby because I have the app that I can check them.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
I have one that's in constant discharge. So I don't know if something's pulling from somewhere.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it might be the turret because everything else is shut off, but that's always on, I guess, type thing.
Yeah.
So
changing out the turret's going to tell you,
Yeah. So that's kind of pissing me off because I gotta have it plugged in, and but other than that, dude, let's fucking get fishing, dude. Let's start fishing. I can't wait. It's time to start telling fish stories for the next 7 months.
Now, when is your first tournament? Because you're doing a couple of different trails.
So this year with the tournaments, I'm being selective.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be selective with the tournaments. Here's why. ABA, I will do them locally. I still got a bad taste in my mouth.
Fair, understandably. Yeah, exactly. I think locally is the way to do it,
Yeah, so I'll fish some of the ABA stuff. So I'll probably do some of Spence's stuff over at Berkshire Bass. And I'm still thinking about, because Wild Bill wants to do a couple of those Berkshires with me. Oh, yeah. And then I'm still thinking about the Thayer's Marine.
I think that's the trail.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about that. It's just with everything going on with retirement and all the other trips I have going on. I have iCast again. I have, we're going up to St. Lawrence for a week. It's just trying to figure out the weekends.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's a busy weekend or busy, and then I'm going to friggin' the Outer Banks for the family trip this year with like all my siblings and stuff. But
well, we're only like 3 weeks away from me going to Sandy Cooper.
It's so crazy,
it's fucking insane, dude. Like, it's like all of a sudden, like spring is like sprung, like it's game on. That's freaking wild. Dan Outdoors chimes in. He goes, the Kayak Adventure Series sounds amazing. Heard about it from aggressively average anglers. Dude, that is an amazing trail. Like, I recommend, even if you're not into competitive fishing, actually, if you're not into competitive fishing, that's 100% the one you want to try out because, like, we're all about fishing community. That's exactly what that trail's about. It's fantastic.
Yep. Bobby.
Yes.
I'm on the Jigs and Bigs page. Did you put us on there yet?
On what
on the team trail.
The team trail? Oh no, not yet. Not yet.
Okay, because I was like, ooh, I wonder which one of these names he made for us.
So my thing is this. I was thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to do April. Because there's a week that I'm in South Carolina. So none of those fish will count for the tournament trail. And you know all I do is catch bigs, Joe.
You know what, dude? Hey, you're going for what, a week?
I'm going for a week. Yeah, I mean, granted, I'll be fishing the other 3 weeks.
Bobby's fucking sign us up, bro.
Fuck it. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll come up with a good fucking team name. It'll be good.
Sticky Rice. Can I give some of these... Can I give some of these names?
100%. Absolutely.
All right. Binya and the Kid. So
all right. You know who his teammate is, right?
His kid?
It's Brody.
Mother.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's fucking Brody.
Whoa. We didn't have to approve that yet? We didn't have to approve that?
I think Brody was like, hey man, you want to be a team? I think it was Brody that put that together.
Oh.
Or maybe that's just how Mike's making it sound.
What a sandbagger Binya is.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
We got Geronimo, Jason Stevens.
Jay Stevens, I think, has done the slot before.
Yep. We got Sticky Rice. And then it's Ken and Tom Ly, L-Y.
Yep.
So I feel like that. Oh, yeah. They look like they have Asian descent in them. So that name is hilarious. We got the dynamic duo with Brad Bergeron and Brian Martin. Then we have Real Problems, spelled R-E-E. Oh,
that's perfect. On, Bert, team anal seepage. What the fuck, Bert?
and then we have Philip Maxwell, Auto Body and Sales. These guys got sponsors and everything.
It's just either that or maybe they're just plugging their own business. Either way, I gotta respect the hustle. God damn it. I got.
And then we got Bass and Bros.
Yeah.
So, dude, 7 teams. That's dope.
It's not bad, man. It's a good start for the first time out. Only one region, and that region, Jigs and Bigs listeners. If you're curious, it is all 6 New England states, also all of New York, all of New Jersey, and all of Pennsylvania. So that makes up Region 1. The Great Lakes are out of bounds. They will be their own region. The Great Lakes specifically will be their own region, but it's going to be pretty good. Things are going to change and switch up a little bit. We talked about the St. Lawrence, and we're going to include it just to see how it plays out, because we're also including Champlain, and Candlewood and a couple other things. Yeah, it's going to be good. So yeah, if you're down to go for it, then let's do it. Let's do it. We'll go ahead. We'll set it up, and we'll make some things happen. It'll be pretty badass. I have a little unboxing I need to do.
Oh yes,
and this is a good one. So I got a package here. This is from Mark over at Z's Home Creations. All right. Now, Mark, I got the chance to meet in Columbus at the Columbus Fishing Expo, and he does something that's very, very cool. And before I left on that Sunday, I asked him, I said, could you do this specific project for me? And he goes, you know what? I can, and I absolutely will. So we talked about it then, followed up via email, worked out a couple of details, and I haven't seen these yet. I've been very excited about this. So help me God, there's another candy dick in this box. and that's just become a thing.
Come on.
Well, I don't know if this is any kind of a clue, but we have a USB cable here with a switch, a bunch of packaging that is absolutely environmentally safe, and a couple other accessories. I'm going to take this out right here. Oh, yeah, baby.
Oh, is that a light?
It's a light up sign.
Clock? A light.
Yeah, it's a light, dude. Look at that. And so the Disco Dungeon is going to be getting a little bit of a facelift. You know, I'm actually going to be putting up a false wall here to give it a little bit more of a polished look and to also kind of block some of this asbestos, because let's be honest, I'm going to die. But I was like, I kind of want to put the logo in and have it pop and not have it be like just a graphic on screen. And I'm like, this might be exactly what I need. So yeah, pretty badass. Jay Manning says, "Oh, by Janelle." No, this is from. This was at the Columbus Fishing Expo. This was Z's Home Creations is the name of the company. Mark is the guy who designs all this stuff. He had a couple that he does like a lot of novelty ones too. So if you've got like a man cave or like a fishing tackle room or something like that. The one sign that I had been eyeing the entire time, and it might be on his website. I might just order it for shits and giggles to put, so I have like our logo on one side and this one on the other. It's a picture of a boat on a trailer, and it says,
"I hate to pull out."
Brilliant. So yeah, it's badass.
Whoa! You're gonna plug it in, right? And show us?
Oh man, there's going to be a whole lot of like endeavor. I don't even know if I have an open outlet right now.
Cock block.
What a cock block, he says. But it's pretty badass, right? Pretty dope.
Supposedly, we don't know till you plug it in.
We're in the middle of recording a show. I will absolutely plug this in because I'm going to do a whole video talking about this, and I'll actually probably have it set up at the time that we do it. But
all right.
What a cock block! So thank you, Mark. This is awesome. Z's Home Creations. Go ahead and check them out. They are on Instagram. That was we connected back and forth a bit there. There you can make orders online. I believe there's like a whole inventory and everything. And I'm going to link all of their information in the episode of this podcast, so you guys can check out the website, and if you have somebody, or you're looking for a gift for somebody, you can see these light up signs. Absolutely beautiful, and it's just badass. It's just absolutely badass.
So it's funny, Bobby, that we're talking about like new backdrops, because like Meg gave me the go ahead to start making like a better backdrop for when we record. The lighting sucks right now, but for when we record the podcast, and I've started because she always distorts her background, so you never see it on her meetings and stuff. So, right there we have the let's do a close shot.
Do a walk up. Yeah. This, I will say, this is awesome. I've always wanted to have one of these, but the fact that he got it in this color is great.
Yeah, so we got the Rapala giant DT lure.
That's awesome, dude. Normally I see the jerk
painted in the stars and bars.
Well, I mean, that's if there was ever an appropriate AVF pattern for that.
Believe it or not, dude.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, this back here is a TikTok purchase.
Is that?
That's a TikTok purchase. So
really?
That is. I don't know if you can tell what it is. I don't know, but it is a B-2 stealth bomber with a foggy scene, and that underneath it is like a Minuteman from like yeah,
really.
So that's what that is standing right there. He's got his musket and his hat, and I
thought it was a Batman thing. I 100%. I was sitting there the whole time. It's just a little out of focus with the camera, and I'm old. Yeah. So I saw it, and I was like, I saw the B-2, like the wings and everything, and I was like, is that like a Batman thing? Is that what's going on? No. Like this fucking like. But I'm a comic book nerd, It's like
I'm not, but I like patriotism and being anti-government.
Fair enough.
I can't say that for another few months.
There you go. That's true. We'll cut that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go back. Edit here.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I'm working on it. I'm working on getting the backdrop
making things better, fancy.
But yeah,
that's badass. No, this is awesome, man. So yeah, things are going, things are happening, and it's good. Fishy, dude. Tournament season is here. We got our first slot series coming up in April. We were talking about maybe pushing that back until May for next year, and I'm like, look, if people want to do it, let's just do it. Let's just give the people what they want. Last year, we did have some folks asking if we could do more than one every month, and I like the idea. And I like the idea a lot because there's a lot of folks where we'll drop the date and they're like, oh, I've got a wedding or, oh, I've got an event. I'm going to be on vacation, so I can't do it or something along those lines. So this is why by having more of them, there's the opportunity where like, hey, if you miss that one in May or June, you could pick up another one and it'll work out okay. We also threw around the idea, Binya and I, about doing a winter multi-species scavenger hunt open.
Yep.
And
like ice,
allowing ice. But if you're down south, you could fish like straight up, and just fish open water. So this way it's kind of like, yeah, all right, we put it all kind of out there, man. There's so much cool stuff happening right now. So much cool stuff.
Is it too much? Nah, it's never too much.
It's not too much. Not at all. My only fear is that it's going to go by super quickly. And then we have an event that's getting some details ironed out in August.
Oh, that's right.
That one's coming up, and it involves Boston Anglers and actually a whole bunch of other brands too. I really did want to have something lined up in April, like a Jigs and Bigs live event, but I'm not seeing the ability to make that happen this short notice. Anyway, we're almost in April right now. Yeah. But John Hagen says, "Sign my ass up, hell yeah, baby, hell yeah." We're gonna hear from John Hagens in the FTG this week. It's a really good one. We're also gonna hear from the one and only Matt Thayer from Klondike Custom Creations. We said some stuff in there that got his wheels turning, and I will say that as of right now, he has the longest on record live well phone call that we have ever had. I had to edit this down. It is now about 10 minutes long. It was longer earlier after I cut a couple of things up, but he makes some really good points and stuff that I think we should for sure talk about. And there's a legitimate question in there as well. So the live well segment's coming up. We got a bunch of calls. We got Xander Hobbyist Fishing joining us. We're going to be talking a bunch of JDM stuff and everything. Again, like I am saying this now, we have not even recorded yet. God, I hope everything works out. If not, we're going to get to that segment and you guys are going to hear. I hope I'm not jinxing myself. And then I have another interview tomorrow night. Like I'm recording a bunch of stuff to bank some things, and it's going to be really good. Good. Really good. While I'm at Santee Cooper, I should be fishing with Paul, the old jabberhammer from Bass and Bruce, and also Andrew Blair, Tactical Fishing. If I think he's recently relocated that area, if I'm not mistaken. I think he recently relocated there, but he's got a bunch of. That's how I was like, oh yeah, that's right, he's in that area too, because I was watching a bunch of Santee Cooper stuff to try to get familiar with what the body of water is, and then of course Elise tells me, she's like,
"Oh, Santee frightens the shit out of me,"
and I'm like, why? She's like, just be careful because there's a lot of stumps.
Oh,
and I'm like, fair enough.
Widowmakers.
But I am taking the approach with my boat. I don't want to do any long runs on a body of water that long. Like it'll take me way too much time when I could get in the car and treat it. And I was talking with Dave Arkey about this. He's like, you're using your boat in the way like a lot of kayak anglers would. I was like, exactly. I'm going to that launch and I'm going to fish that creek or that section of that lake. And if I want to move elsewhere, I'll drive and I'll launch closer to it.
Dude, I do that in my boat occasionally on the St. Lawrence River.
Sometimes it's worth it, you know?
Yeah, because guess what? It costs less. Dude, you burn a lot. Like in my boat, you burn an hour and a half run. I'm burning a lot of fuel. And like, so when I'm like, okay, should I do an hour run to the mouth or should I just put on the trailer, drive 40 minutes?
Yeah.
And just relaunch it real quick.
Yeah.
So I do that.
Sometimes that's the way to do it. So I'm like, I think that's what we're going to do. But man, it'll be pretty crazy. I'm really looking forward to it. Things are happening. Things are going good. Joe, do we have a headline to go through this week?
We have 2 headlines.
Oh, I love having 2 headlines. Let's go ahead. Buckle up, folks.
Well, we have an idiot of the week, Bobby.
I love those.
Because Michigan anglers' habitual offenses lead to jail time and fines.
What?
And yeah. So a Michigan man's 5-year history of hunting and fishing violations have resulted in jail time and a number of fines. On March 10th, Derek Dermer was sentenced in St. Clair County's 72nd District Court to 30 to 100 days in jail for both fishing without a license and fishing while ineligible for licenses.
Oh.
This past December, a Michigan DNR conservation officer contacted Dermer while he was ice fishing on Lake St. Clair. Dermer, 37, was unable to present a valid fishing license at the time, as both his fishing and hunting licenses were revoked until January 1st of this year. Michigan requires all individuals 17 years and older to purchase a fishing license in order to fish in its waters. The penalties for Dermer had been increased because of his habitual offenses.
That'll do it.
Within the past 5 years, he's previously accumulated the following DNR violations. Put your seatbelts on, everyone. The fact that this guy can even get a license is crazy. Possessing an over-limit of perch. Taking deer without a license. Failure to possess an unused kill tag while deer hunting. Transporting deer without an attached validated kill tag. And failure to attach a validated deer kill tag. So, according to a DNR press release issued March 23rd, the agency originally offered Dermer a plea deal to drop one of the charges, which a Washington Township man rejected. Last month, his case was tried before a jury, and Dermer was found guilty of both charges.
Holy shit.
Should have taken the plea deal. If you'd done it, you probably should take the plea. In addition to at least a month of jail time, the full scope of his sentence is $2,980 in court costs and fines, $20 reimbursement to the state of Michigan for conservation fees, and an additional 7 years of a revoked fishing license. Habitual offenders are only stealing resources, but they also create a bad name for the law-abiding majority of hunters and anglers. Chief Brandon Keefe, DNR Law Enforcement Division, stated at a press release. The conservation officers of the Michigan DNR are fully commissioned officers of the law. They protect natural resources, ensure recreational safety, and provide general law enforcement duties to the communities they serve. Hunting and fishing violations don't typically yield such stiff consequences, but Dermer's repeat offenses were the difference between a more lenient sentence and the penalties he currently faces.
Wow, that's fucking crazy. I'm glad the state got their $20 donations.
Bro, I saw that too. You know what it was, dude? You know what it was? It was probably like, you know how like when you get a license, you get that like automatic like conservation fee or whatever. They're probably like, oh shit, like I don't know how to like turn this off. They're like, oh well, we'll just charge them with that.
Charge them the $20. Fuck it. That's crazy, dude.
So there's story number 1. Now this story number 2. Ooh, I love it. Because it has to do with tackle. You ready?
Okay. Yep.
Have you heard about Pure Fishing announcing the new Berkeley Lab Series baits?
So, yes, I have.
That just so happened to have been the secret bait that Dylan Nutt was using to win the Bassmaster Classic?
I did not hear that.
Well, let's talk about it.
Okay.
On March 15th, Dylan Nutt took the 2026 Bassmaster Classic victory with an impressive 66.13 pound bag. Nutt kind of let the cat out of the bag at weigh-in when he informed everybody about the top secret bait he used to take the W, Berkeley Lab Series. Berkeley's new lab series is a line of small batch layered baits that features Berkeley's new water activated rapid release max scent slime.
Really?
Yeah. So and this kind of goes hand in hand because we've been talking about scent lately.
Have, yeah, the past few shows.
So where was I? I was fortunate enough to attend a media event. This is the reporter. I was fortunate enough to attend a media event hosted by Berkeley prior to the Classic, where they explained all what went into the new lineup. Mm-hmm. It's hard to ignore the role of forward-facing sonar in fishing these days, and Berkeley wanted a way to capitalize on the tech. Though that wasn't the only driving force behind the bait's development, Berkeley wanted to create a bait that would make those fish that anglers could see following their bait bite not just swim up and stare.
Yeah.
They figured the key to doing so was creating a scent that fish couldn't resist. If Nuts' victory is an indication, it sure seems like they may have gotten it dialed in.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't talk. I'm just trying to. So Berkeley scientists stated that 40 years of scent development went into the new line, and it sure seems that way. So it's him talking about it. So we don't really have to do that. But so I'm going to share my screen here and kind of show you. So this is going to be. I can already tell you by the packaging, this shit's going to be expensive. Piss.
I feel like Debo just did something recently talking about the lab series.
Okay.
And let's do this. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So there's the packaging.
Yeah.
But check this out, Bobby. Where is it?
Oh.
Yeah, it might be.
You can kind of see exactly what's going on there. You've got that slime, it basically comes out of the plastic, right?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And then, like I said, I don't think it mentions prices yet, but look at the packaging, dude.
Yeah, that's like they're
looks
going
like the packaging for like Viagra or something.
They're going for like an absolute premium experience buying this stuff. Oh yeah,
yeah, and you know what's going to happen? Wild. They're going to about in 10 minutes, and you won't see him again until next season.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, there's no price here, but
I can only imagine. Dude, do they have a flatworm?
So they look like that looks like a robo great tail right there.
It does. Scroll up a little bit.
Yeah,
not that one.
So you got the minnow.
The minnow. That's the one.
Yep, and a flatworm.
Damn. Shit.
That's going to be the big seller right there.
It is.
For the drop shot people.
That's a
but
great,
this is going to be just as big, I think, for the Demikis and shit.
I agree. Yep. Especially, especially like hover rigs and stuff like that. 100%. Yeah. That's going to be huge.
Yeah.
You know, it's
a
funny though.
Deal.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
Remember we had that conversation in a previous live well with, I think Janelle actually called in and had said, she was like, I saw this video with Taku Ito, and he was talking about adding scent to his own baits and having this recipe. And remember, he had something that he called like Taco's secret seasoning or something. And that's what it was. He would soak the baits in scent and then sprinkle that all over them. And then when that hit the water, it turned into a slime, which kept it on the plastic that much longer. But I wonder if that's the idea. Dude, that could be sick.
Yeah,
that could be.
I'm loving some of the colors they're showing too.
Yeah, very cool. I mean, I know that there's people out there that are Berkeley haters, and all that jazz. But I and I get it. Every company seems to copy everybody at one point or another. Nothing in the world is original, truly original. But I will say that when it comes to something like this is a good example of how Berkeley does innovate on a large scale. And that's pretty cool.
Berkeley, here's where Berkeley's weird. They were like a very budget bait. You know what I mean? Growing up, they're a very budget bait. And then but the Max Scent series kind of really set them apart or set them at the same level as some of the higher tiered baits. And for reason. I mean, You finally now can get fucking flatworm, max scent flatworms. You know what I mean? You can finally now find them.
Oh yeah.
But dude, they were sold out forever.
Look at the Pit Boss.
Right.
Like the Pit Boss is another one of those plastic shapes where it's like everybody loves it. And if they're not, if like it's just constantly sold out, you know?
Yep.
And it's crazy.
Yep.
Bert chimes in. He goes, Wendell and Debo went to Berkeley for their release and uploaded a YouTube podcast about it. There was somebody else too who was at one of those Berkeley lab things. I think it was Andrew from Tackle Talk. Was also probably one of those two. Yeah. But this was, I think, before this. I don't know if he was at this last one, but yeah, he's fucking sick. That is awesome.
Yeah, and like, who knows if we'll get our hands on them? You know what I mean? It's gonna be one of those things
year.
where
it might be next year or the year after.
Yeah, it could, because when people, I gotta stop playing with this thing because that's gonna be making noise. Because
if only we knew a guy in the tackle industry that had a distributor that could, maybe make some shit happen.
Yeah, dude. It's probably only going to go to like places like Omnia Tackle Warehouse, maybe the Rod Locker.
Yep.
Like places like that.
Yeah.
And they're going to launch them at like, midnight or 2, whatever. And people are going to be waiting.
Yep.
And they're going to be gone,
buy it out
immediately.
Yep. Yeah, that's freaking nuts.
Especially now with Whatnot.
Yeah.
You're going to have, dude, it's going to be a lot of people selling on Whatnot are going to be waiting for that. And they're probably going to get triple to quadruple the price on Whatnot.
It's crazy. It is crazy, man.
Yep.
Oh, it is nuts. I can only imagine. That's a good story though. Cause the Berkeley lab stuff has been in the ether, in the conversation now for like the last week or so. I've heard it and I was like, oh yeah, new Berkeley stuff. Awesome. And I was like, I wonder what it is, but I had no idea the details about the slime. So the fact that they were,
Bobby, it won the classic.
Yeah. I had no idea about that.
That's even more like, look at the Firecraw jackhammer.
Yeah.
Dude, they were selling for $40-$50.
Crazy.
You know what I mean?
And it's nuts because you saying this and it makes more sense because just this week I was talking with Binya and he's like, hey, man, have you heard about the Berkeley lab stuff? And I kind of wrote it off. I was like, oh yeah. It's going to be the new buzz and everything else. And, it's crazy because it's exactly what happens. That little nugget of like, oh, this is the juice. And everybody goes and eats it up.
Yep. 100%. 100%. You probably won't. And in all honesty, like you probably won't even see it in stores. It's probably going to be all online and it's going to be gone immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Especially because, and the only reason why I say that is because the first thing they said was it's small batch.
Yes. That's going to change it. Although you may see these start to blow up a little bit more. They might see that they're like, this has legs, and if we can put it in people's hands, then that's the way to do it. But that's awesome. Yeah, no ICAST, just win the classic. That's what Jay Manning says. I'm telling you, dude, it's a big deal. Oh, we should talk about the classic. Like we were throwing around this idea about legitimately doing like a house and all that stuff. And after last week's show, like I thought our conversation about like the comments about like the wealth situation with younger class of anglers and professional fishing was going to be like the buzz that would get people. No. So many people reached out and they're like,
buddy, if you're doing a house at the classic next year, I might be interested in going.
So I don't think that there is a lack of interest. You know what I mean? Sure. I think we're going to be able to fill all the spots. I think last week you said it and you nailed it. We have to start planning it now.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. So we'll put it together and we'll find a rental and we'll make it happen. And Eli, in fact, actually, I think he texted the Livewell or one of the streams, and he was like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "My wife's a travel agent, man. If you need anybody, we'll do such." So I was like, "All right." I didn't realize people still needed travel agents.
Didn't know that was still a thing.
But friggin' knowing that we could work something out. That could be really good. So Dude, that's awesome. Yep. Yeah, I think that you're 100% right with that last week. It's got to happen. But let's go ahead and shift gears, guys, because we'll take a real quick break. We're going to come back around, and we've got Just the Tip and FTG in our next segment. And Just the Tip, we're talking about what's going on post ice out into spring, going into spawn. Let's get everybody's talking about this right now, but we just want to make sure that our listeners have a good grasp of what's going on. And then in FTG, we got a good one from the field. These are my favorite FTG calls. John Hagen's calls, and in fact, not only did he leave a message, but he DM'd me and was like, an apology. He's like, I'm so sorry for the rant, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, dude, that is what that line is for. So if you've got something you want to say on the FTG front or something for the live well, take this number and put it in your phone right now. 413-324-8519 is the hotline. You want to know why this is magical, Joe? It's the first time in like 2 years that we've had that number. I didn't have to look at it to read it off, dude. I'm getting better at this.
Yeah.
Let's take a real quick break here. I'm going to crack open another Pine and Star, and we'll see you guys in a bit. More Jigs and Bigs goodness coming up right after this.
And perhaps play a little game called Just the Tip. Just for a second, just to see how it feels. Or, ouch, ouch, you're on my hair.
Okay.
Yeah. It is that time. It is that time, guys. And this week's Just the Tip, we're going to attempt anyway to demystify the bass spawn. This is like, think of it as the deep dive edition. Every single spring, anglers talk about the spawn. Like it's this one moment in time. But the truth is it's a process. And if you don't understand where the bass are at that point in the process, then you're just fishing blind. So stage one, and keep this in mind, I know that this one especially doesn't necessarily resonate with everybody, but this is as cold as it's going to get. Ice out. It's what we're experiencing right now. Your water temps around ice out are going to be like between 35 and like 40 to 45 in that window. And what's happening in that situation is that bass are essentially recovering from winter stress. Their metabolism is just starting to kind of warm up a little bit and get moving. At this point, though, they are not chasing. They're just getting by in survival mode, you know? And we mentioned this actually earlier when we were talking about the stages of the year. The high level behavior is going to be more, you're targeting suspended or fish that are glued to the bottom that will be near channel swings or steep rock or deep timber. They want easy calories with minimal effort. And I think that this is exactly why I got bit where I did on this last outing in that deeper water, because down there we had some cover. I'm not sure if it was wood or rocks or something, but I could feel dragging over this on the jig, and they were down there low. Your advanced signs, we've got afternoon bite windows. This is huge. It's definitely, your odds are better after the sun's been out for a little while versus early in the morning. Your north banks are going to be warming. Even if it's a degree or two, that makes a big difference. And electronics. Lean on them. If you're using them, fish slightly off bottom, and that's where they are. They're waking up. Dead sticking is going to be underrated. Slow way down. Jerkbait cadence should definitely feel uncomfortably slow at this point. Like I'm talking like twitch, maybe have a sip of coffee, maybe a bite of your sandwich, and then twitch. That kind of thing. Joe, this is that time where if you think that you're fishing too slow, you're still going too fast. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Right. Like you can't fish too slow.
Yep.
Now, the next sort of stage here is where the migration kind of starts. Early pre-spawn. Water temps here, you're talking that mid 40 mark to like just a click over 50, 51, 52. Bass are going to be moving with some intent, not randomness. They're going to follow a route. They're not going all shallow. They're not just heading for shallow water. There is a route. Think of the key concept as being like they're on a highway almost. Bass are going to move along creek channels and various contour lines, as well as along rock transitions. Wind blowing into staging banks is going to be a hot spot. Your first real bait fish grouping activity is going to start to happen here. Fish will stack up in like various stop points. Think of them as rest areas. And there'll be secondary points or drains or on inside grass edges. You can pattern entire sections of the lake by looking at the map and having some familiarity with like, hey, where's there a weed line? Things like that. Reaction baits are going to shine here because the fish are feeding more opportunistically. They're also not locked on beds at this point. And this is where you'll find guys that either they look like geniuses with some kind of a cheat code, or they're just fishing empty water all day long, not getting a bite. And I'm afraid that's what we're going to experience tomorrow. We'll do our best with it. Then let's get into the next stage. And this is like that late session pre-spawn. This is where the tension starts to really kind of build. Your water temps are now in that like low 50s, 51, 52 is up to as much as like 60 degrees. And what's happening here is that females, they're staging just outside of the spawning areas. The males are starting to move in and prep beds. And this is the most aggressive feeding window for the bigger fish. The concept here is that this is like that last stop. Females, they don't go straight to beds. They hold on. That like the first nearby drop off or near isolated cover that's near a flat, something like that, they're comfortable there. Docks or wood that's near spawning pockets, this is where you're going to find those bigger fish. Big fish showing up shallow, but they're not really locked in, is what you want to keep in mind. If you have warm rain coming in, that's going to push fish forward. If you have a cold front that comes in, it's going to pull them back slightly. They're not going back to their wintering holes, but it's just going to hold them off. Big baits can bring you the big bites, you know, your big swim baits, obviously, but also your bulkier jigs, your larger profile spinner baits. That stuff can work great as well. And this is where you can definitely catch your PB. It's not going to be on the bed. Now, this is where they're not only catchable, but stupid. And those two things together make for a dangerous combo. Now we're at the fourth stage of it. This is the spawn. Is the misunderstood spot. Your water temps are going to be around the high 50s to like the high 60s. And your males, they're building the beds. The females are going to slide in briefly. They're going to drop eggs. They're going to bolt. And then the males are going to guard the eggs and the fry. Most anglers miss this part. Not all fish spawn at one time. You can absolutely have some fish that are pre-spawn, some that are spawning, and some that are post-spawn, all happening at the same time. It's different waves. Beds that are in protected pockets or along hard bottom, that's what you want to look for. Cruising fish that are not committed yet, keep an eye on those too. And if they're nose down tight to the bed, those are the fish that are locked in right there. Bed fishing is about triggering. It's not about feeding the fish. You're talking about intruding their space, intruding that bed. And, you know, you really have to kind of stay at it and keep on it. A lot of times folks will say that there's a hot spot on a bed. If you find a spot where that fish goes immediately to your bait, you want to try to focus on that spot as much as possible. And watch the fish, not necessarily your bait. If you ever have one just nose down on it for like 5 minutes, think about it like this. It's judging your life choices is what it's doing at that point. Now we move into the next stage, which is the post spawn. That's the funk of the whole thing. We're talking about like that can be anywhere from like the mid 60s to like the mid 70s. Your females are exhausted. They've headed back out. They're suspended and they're recovering. Males are going to be guarding fry aggressively. And the feeding overall is going to be very inconsistent. Some things to look for are fry balls. That's obviously a huge clue. Males will often at this time crush topwater or attack anything that's near the fry. There's two separate patterns to look for. You got fry garters, shallow, aggressive fish, and then you got the recovering females. They're deeper. You got to finesse those fish. A key mistake that anglers can make is fishing for pre-spawn fish that are no longer there. And this is where your confidence really gets tested. Now we're talking about the sixth stage here. This is the post-spawn transition where things sort of come back to normal. These water temps are going to be about 70 plus. Fish are going to start to regain strength. The feed windows, they're going to stabilize now. They're moving onto offshore structure. They're following grass lines. Summer patterns are going to play a big role here. Schools are going to form for those fish that school. More predictable feeding times are going to become a little bit more obvious as well. You want to start expanding your what you're throwing here. This is like key topwater season right here. And your offshore bite is going to start to increase as well. The chaos ends overall with the spawn, but the patterns start to come back. The spawn isn't so much a date on the calendar, it's a progression. And anglers who win this time of year, they're not guessing where the fish are. They're identifying what stage they're in at that time. Keep in mind a couple things you can look at, a little bit of extra juice if you want. Think of it as the spawn cheat code. Cold water, you want to think slow and deep. Warming trend, think movement. And those highways I mentioned, where are they traveling to? Warm, stable water, think shallow in beds. And then post-spawn, obviously, split personality fish. So I would honestly suggest, if there's a body of water that you're really familiar with, it's a great way to kind of test some of these tactics and figure it out. Like if you know where the weeds are, where there's some rocks, if you have an idea already, experiment there. Once you kind of get an idea of how it's working, go and expand from there. And I mean, what do you have to add to this, Joe? How do you feel about it?
No, I think you did pretty well breaking it all down. Never get your blinders,
Yep.
We'll sit here and tell you everything that we know, everything that we read, everything that we've experienced. But, everyone's experience is different.
Mm-hmm.
The fish have, act differently on a daily basis. So just remember that, too. Don't get hung up, and Bobby kind of mentioned, don't get hung up on a certain technique just because this is what every YouTube video, every Google ad, or every Google document or whatever has told you to do. Always think outside the box as well.
It's, and you do have those situations where you're like, I haven't seen. Last year was actually a really good example of this, because you remember where there were folks that were like, I don't think I saw a goddamn bass on a bed at all. Like, did they even spawn? And the reality of it is that I'm sure that some fish in that body of water did spawn. The paths might not have crossed. You might not have found where they were set up, but because it's a progression, and because the rate of that progression kind of depends on a lot of factors that can really screw some things up. You get some cold fronts that come in, it's going to slow things down from where they actually get to where they're going. There's a lot of conversation about different fish and how deep they'll set up their beds. Some of that has to do with the composition of the bottom. What they're necessarily dealing with. So you have a bunch of factors in here, and it's very, very hard in one, especially a large body of water, to be able to say like, oh, they just never spawned. You know what I'm saying? It can be a challenge. Jay Manning chimes in here with obviously this is really good. He says, look for bug hatches, pay attention to presentation. Sometimes fish want vertical, other times horizontal. Small changes can make a big difference. John Hagan says, my wife just saw Joe's mustache and glasses and asked, who's the cop?
No. It's getting old, man. I gotta see, and I wear contacts too, but they irritate
tough.
My eyes after a while, so I gotta toss the glasses on when I get home.
You got to. My it's rough. Magnum Joe.
Magnum Joe.
No, so that's just the tip for this week. If nothing else, keep that stuff in mind as far as like what phase of the spawn process are they in, and what are these fish doing. So like you just can't force the bite. It's just nuts.
Yep.
But this is going to be a good one.
What's going on, Jigs and Bigs fans? Bobby, Joe. It's the one and only John Higgins. I am calling in a fucking FTG real time. I am out on the infamous Hoover Reservoir right now doing my favorite thing, catfishing. And it's getting to be that time of year again. Wreck kayakers. I'm sitting here minding my business. There's nobody else around me. You can see my 10-foot rod sticking in the air with my fucking glow-in-the-dark fucking line at least 50 yards out before it touches water. And these assholes, yeah, I said assholes, decided that they were going to kayak in their fucking fold-up kayaks over my goddamn fishing lines. Not only that, they made a second round and decided to stop and have a bullshit conversation where one decided that it was going to be cool to impress the fucking subpar chick that they're fucking floating with by splashing in the water with his fucking paddles as hard as he could right above where my fucking baits are sitting. So I just want to say this. As we get into the warmer months and all these kayakers in this fucked up fancy little neighborhood around the lake in their fucking $1 million homes, all of you can get fucked. How about that? Fuck you, fuck your folding kayaks, fuck your fancy pontoons, fuck your docks, fuck your shoreline, fuck your restructured banks, fuck your little walkways, fuck everything that you have to do around this lake. And most of all, fuck these assholes sitting out in front of me on their fucking kayaks. That's all. Tight lines, everybody.
That's what FTG is for. That right there, John, is exactly what FTG is for. Live in the field, like just letting it rip. And I'll tell you, like we talk about wreck boats all the time. And I think it needs to be said, like the pleasure paddlers, that sounds dirty.
The pleasure paddlers?
Yeah, that sounds wrong. They carry their own weight in all of this. You know what I mean? They really do. He nailed it. Like, dude's got 10-foot rods with glow-in-the-dark line. And, like, there's no way you can't see that. You know what I'm saying? It is the worst. Absolutely the worst. This is one of those points where you just want to maybe have like an extra combo set up with like a nice 2-ounce piece of lead and just cast it out that way. And if he's like, hey,
I didn't see you. Fuck off.
You know? Bobby just got his LTC. That could be bad news. Just saying, you know? Yeah, that's shitty. Those fold-up kayaks are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen them before, and I don't even understand how once. He goes, I have 5 ounces on the ready. Shit. You know? Yeah. Just, I didn't see you. Sorry. Might want to watch out. Keep out of the bank. Because one paddler gets a concussion, you know, from a flying weight, they're going to think twice about paddling that close to the bank. All it has to do is make the news.
That's it.
Wow, that is fucked. People are terrible.
Sucks, dude. People are assholes.
It does. It absolutely sucks. And, you know, the fact he went into detail about, like, it being a little, like, a more affluent area. Well, I mean, let's be honest. Anybody who's got waterfront property, you know, they're all a little something. But at the same time, you know, you got to ask yourself, you're just like, are you just that dumb? You know, like, man, that's fucked up. You're not even supposed to be fishing here. If it's legal, it's legal, man. How do explain a knot on your head shaped like a 5-ounce no-roll sinker between the eyes? Fair. You know, I didn't see them. They were just out there like fucking idiots. And actually, if it was that dark where they could see your line glowing, John, I think, I'll be honest with you, I think it was probably a little bit dark to be paddling around. You know? I mean, they were probably out there, and I don't know that it would necessarily be your fault if you just didn't see them. You know, it's dark. I couldn't see them. What are they doing? You know, fuck them. Fuck those guys. Anyway, we are going to take a short break, flip this sucker around. We're going to come back, and when we come back from this break, we've got Xander, the one and only Hobbyist Fishing, with us. And then after that, we've got the live well, and you do not want to miss the live well. It is a good one, a damn good one. Get ready, get some popcorn, because there's a little bit of drama. We'll see you guys in a bit. Don't go too far. All Alrighty, guys, Bobby Roast Beef here, Jigs and Bigs, and this is like my favorite type of segment. Number one, the beef seat segment was like the core of what this show is all about. We have an awesome guest lined up today, but I am recording this remote on location moments before I'm about to splash the boat and send it. And we got a good one lined up this week. We got Xander. You might know him more, or be more familiar with him as Hobbyist Fishing. Let's talk, what is Hobbyist Fishing all about? Well, we're going to find out. There's some amazing content on there, and you might know him. He's a little bit famous for, like, chopping up baits, and I kind of respect that. I can respect the intrigue that goes with that. So, Xander, welcome to the show, man. Glad to have you on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
And we're talking, like, in the before we started rolling here, we're talking a little bit, like, you're based in Massachusetts. I can't believe this hasn't happened faster. Like, this is on me. This is bad on me.
No, it's I had a crazy. I was very fortunate that I started. It's only been a year since I started posting really consistently online. So pretty much last year, March, this time, I started uploading the first videos where I was chopping baits. So, you know, I kind of just like came out of nowhere. I was very fortunate to have people follow me, like what I do. So not your fault at all. I've kind of like snuck up on a bunch of people, but yeah, I'm here in Massachusetts.
Dude, that is awesome. Let's go ahead. The primary focus of this segment here, especially when we have a guest that's on for the first time, is, you know, obviously sharing fishing stories, but we got to kind of get to know you as an angler. So let's talk about your story, like up until now. Like, how do we get to the point where you first off were introduced to the outdoors? How did it kind of grow into this passion where you're, like I said, intrigue, where you're interested in both the science and the mechanics of catching fish, to the point where now you're making content that's really like top tier?
Yeah. You know, the big thing is the easiest way to preface everything in my whole philosophy when it comes to bass fishing is I'm originally from Connecticut, so I was born in Connecticut in Stratford, but I'm first generation Korean American immigrant, and then our family did all that work to come out here, and then in the first grade our family moves back to South Korea. I actually grew up in South Korea first grade through high school, so actually learning to bass fish was all done. I learned how to fish for bass in Korea. I was always a kid, I liked fishing. My grandfather instilled that into me. Like, I have some memories of like trout fishing with him when I was young in Connecticut, going bluefish fishing with him, getting woken up in like 2 a.m, shoved into the minivan, going down to North Carolina to go fishing with him. So fishing has been, especially like that, my mom's side of the family, like big anglers. So it's always been a part of me. And then kind of middle school into high school, I was fishing. There's a big river through Seoul where I live called the Han River. Every kind of fishing there. But I was fishing one day and some guys were fishing, and then my dad knew that I liked fishing and asked someone to like, he knew a friend that was a big angler, and he's like, hey, can you help me buy my son some Christmas presents? So he bought this box of I didn't know at the time, but they were like chatterbaits, like the original evergreen chatterbaits.
Oh, really?
OSP spinner baits, because I still had a few of them. And I was like, so I didn't know what they were because I was just a kid that carried a rod and put a hook on a line and threw it in the water. But I had that stuff, and I saw these guys that were fishing similar things on that river, and I like went up to them and was, hey, so I have all this stuff. I don't know what to do with it. Can you help me? And they're like, yeah, for sure. So they like taught me about bass fishing. They got me into it. There was a shop, shout out to the tackle shop in Korea. It was near my apartment. I would start going there every day after school, asking the guys, hey, how do I fish? How do I catch more bass? They'd take me out because it was right next to a river. They had this wall of used baits that I could buy for like $1, so like crankbaits, jerk baits.
That's great.
Like, even like half-used bags of soft plastics. I'd go in there and they're like, yeah, just give me like $5 for that stuff. And I'd go, of course, I'd snag a deep diving crankbait in 5 foot of water. And then I'd be like, hey, so I lost that crankbait. And they're like, yeah, you're not supposed to fish it like that. So, and I really fell in love with bass fishing like that. And also kind of going hand in hand, I didn't realize it at the time, but Korea and Japan, we have, you know, especially South Korea is a country the size of Maine with a population of California. So when we talk about pressured waters, the whole country's pressured. So it really drives this technique-driven style of bass fishing, which is just kind of second nature to me now, which when I finally came back here to the States, I felt like a god. I moved to Maine So I came back, went to Maine for work, was fishing in Maine, and I felt like a fishing god. I was like, oh my God, I can catch fish like no tomorrow here.
Oh, yeah.
And then, moved to Massachusetts. I live in Melrose. I'm near Boston. And then, I was like, last year I was getting ready to start put together my tackle and organize it for the season.
Yep.
And I was like, let's just put a video up. Let's just see. And then I was putting some videos up, and I realized that a lot of the ways that I would fish, the ways I learned how to fish in Korea, were very new ways to fish for people out here.
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of just, and I was like, great, I can just make videos about my way of fishing in Korea, and people love it, and it's new and innovating to them, so we'll just keep with that.
That's freaking awesome, man. And, it's so funny, too. Like, you're 100% right. Like, we think we know what pressured water is here. And there are pockets of the country where you have a heavy population that is really into fishing, and these places can take a little bit of a beating. But you look at places specifically like South Korea, like Japan, like there's so much population, and fishing is so ingrained in the culture from generations upon generations upon generations previously, that it's no wonder these fish are just absolutely beaten up. And it does take a little bit of thinking outside the box and some innovation to kind of get things interesting. And I think that it's cool to see that international influence show up in our domestic American tackle retailers. It's pretty cool.
I think it's super exciting. Yeah, I mean, am I allowed to plug a little bit of what I do?
Absolutely, you are. For sure. That's what this is all about.
So with the influx of Japanese gear and Asian interest, American interest in Asian stuff, I became the distributor for Aros here in the U.S. This is a South Korean company.
Yes.
So I'm literally, I am in both sides with content and in business, kind of riding that wave of this influx of interest in Japanese and Korean bass fishing. So definitely. Yeah.
It's freaking awesome. And I love like the innovation, like you mentioned evergreen right off the rip. It's like you see and actually it's in this episode. So this, for the listeners are kind of comfortable lately. I've been Frankensteining these episodes together. We recorded the show last night. I'm going to edit this interview in.
Okay, cool.
We had a question come up about in our we have this mailbag listener engagement segment, and it was about innovation. Like, what does that look like to us? And I was like, I think at the core, the way I sort of answered it was more or less like it's about when something is new, there's a fresh idea. And of course, as an American angler, I'm like, the chatterbait, Z-Man, but that's not where it came from. It was an evergreen thing. It was it came from the international market, and then it was Z-Man kind of packaged it and kind of laid their thing into it. And then of course we ended up with the jackhammer that was a collaboration, and all of this stuff is crazy. Do you have a list of maybe a top 5 of your favorite international baits? I mean, and I'm saying from anywhere in the world that you were you guys just don't even know yet.
Oh yeah, that's huge.
And
So what I think this will be a really interesting way to look at innovation, especially. I think this is with all things, with art, with music. We are at a point in human evolution where it's very rare to come up with a completely new idea, right? Scientists aren't. We're not inventing the light bulb anymore.
Yeah,
right.
No.
So it's these incremental changes, or it's taking something that already exists and fishing it in a new way that really becomes an innovation, right? So, and that's what I kind of think. So the mid-stroll, right? Mid-strolling, shaking a minnow. That's a minnow. At the end of the day, it's a minnow. It's a minnow bait. You can do it with a fluke, like zoom, just a regular zoom fluke. You just need that. But it's a different way to fish it, because we would just fish it as a jerkbait, right?
Yeah.
Things like that. But, refining that technique and getting it really down. I think 99% of people fish them wrong. You're not supposed to, the Sakamoto shad should not be a mid-strolling bait. That's a crazy idea. It's even in Asia, it's a crazy idea. We're like, why are we doing the Sakamoto shads? But I think the mid-strolling technique is a big one. One that I'm kind of playing with right now, I don't know what the Japanese word is, but it translates to wind fishing or breath fishing. So it comes from Japanese rock bass fishing, where it's these little darter heads that you put like a thicker minnow style plastic. Like if you if you think about like the sluggo, like the back part of the sluggo,
yeah,
like that texture
thicker.
of a sluggo, thick, not thicker, but like stiffer of a plastic,
more
almost towards
rigid.
silicone.
Yeah.
And then on that darter head, and you fish it off the bottom, but you work your rod tip up lightly. And what it does, I think you may have seen this TikTok or Instagram video where it's the little minnow that darts on the bottom, hops left to right.
Yes,
but
have.
It jumps left to right, and that's called wind fishing or something like that. It comes from rock bass fishing. I think that's a really interesting thing that will come up. I think as pressure gets bigger and bigger here, I think the iGel rig, which is we call it Kaigel, or a Kaigel, is a small jig head on a thin worm. So like the Nico Flick Shake from Jackal.
Oh, okay.
That's actually designed for that. So it's a lift and fall technique.
Yep.
You know, it's like fishing a Senko essentially, but because you have that little jig head and a short shank jig head, it has to be a short shank.
Okay.
You shake that thing on the bottom and that worm kind of flutters, or you can shake it like you're shaking a minnow in the middle of the water column. So like these shaking techniques are going to become really important here in the States, I think. Man, what else? What did I fish in Korea? You know, the thing is in Korea especially, all we do is fish a free rig.
Really? That's the popular one. No kidding.
The free rig was designed in Korea. It was made by two Korean pros. And it's like, we don't fish a Texas rig. We fish a free rig. Like that's what we teach everyone to fish with. I think jig heads. So going back to fishing more with jig heads is going to be a big thing. Not just like as a minnow, but on the bottom. Like I said, like in Korea, our rigs are because of the pressure, we can't put a big weight in the front, or we need to be able to do things with our baits that require smaller tackle. So like the jig head fishing will be a big thing. So fishing on the bottom with a jig head, understanding that technique. I mean, the cat's out of the bag on the koi keys.
The koi keys are blowing up, man. I think that's the thing this year. Like it really.
And glide
is.
bait fishing. I think glide bait fishing.
I
think even more so. I think we call it cover glide bait fishing. So from the bank, like my glide bait rod is a 6'6" megabass rod. I use a short rod, a super short rod.
I was gonna say that's very short. Yeah,
super short. But because the way that I fish my glide baits, I don't buy glide baits that are designed for bombing a cast out and doing that slow S-turn.
Yeah.
I'm actually pitching my glides to cover. I pitch glides all day. But I need that shorter rod for that accurate cast, and I want that bait right in front of that cover, left, right, and just stay right there. So something like that. Like I think it used to be that it took about 5 years. We calculated to some guys back in Korea. It takes about 5 years for something that happened in Asia to get popular here. The Bellows Gill is like the last example of that. We were fishing it before I moved back to Korea, before I moved back to the States in 2020. And then it got hot last year.
It really did. It blew up. I just bought my first pack of Bellows Gills at the Columbus Fishing Expo.
So that's exactly a five-year span almost, right? Social media is making that shorter, of course. But, things that like people are fishing Japan now, it takes some time to come over. But yeah, those are kind of the things I'm looking at.
That's awesome, man. Now, I do want to mention, because you and I do have a shared passion, and that's bait finesse. I love bait finesse fishing. I feel like it's in those situations, because I've got friends of mine who make content, all kinds of stuff, and some of my friends are like, it's amazing. You only fish like public spots with like super pressure, and you're completely comfortable doing it. And a lot of like bait finesse has really helped me. Like now I only fish bait finesse from the bank. Like if I'm going on a bank on a bank's end, just because it's lighter gear, it's easier to move spot to spot to spot. And but even when I'm in my boat, like I'll bring 1 or 2 bait finesse combos and use them, because that sometimes that downsized profile is exactly what I need in those, those types of situations. I do feel like bait finesse has gotten in the States. There's like a hurdle. Like people think it's a trend. Like it's like, and in fact, there's another podcaster specifically who hates on bait finesse all the time. And ironically, like here I am wearing a flat brim hat. He's like, it's for those hipsters. I could be his dad. I'm not a hipster. You know what I mean? Like I am that much older. But it's like, what's your take on it? Do you think it's ever going to see like wide acceptance in domestically here?
I think so. I mean, so the interesting thing is I get this question on my socials a lot. Like, hey, can you talk about bait finesse? Can you talk about bait finesse? The thing is I don't know what bait finesse is. From how I learned how to fish, because we talk about bait finesse. That's 10 pound test fluorocarbon, medium light power rod on a bait caster. I guess the big thing here is the distinction of the bait caster. But in Korea, that's my heaviest rod I owned when I was still fishing in Korea was a medium heavy. I never owned a heavy rod till I moved here. So my go-to rod day in, day out was a medium light rod. So I was fishing bait finesse as just normal fishing. But I think it will catch on. I think the thing that the haters, people that are against it, are kind of weary of is that it feels like a marketing gimmick. Yeah. Right. I think that's where people are getting it. I think companies are trying to sell it are getting it wrong the most. Is selling it as like, oh, bait finesse is this thing that you can buy into. And it's like, not really. It should be just finesse. It's just finesse fishing, right?
Pretty much what it is. It's funny because like I got into it because I find it like if I'm fishing like super finesse tactics. And I'm, there are some tactics with a spinning combo that if I've got to hold that in my hand all day, it's just I like carpal tunnel, like it's just it's not as comfortable. Holding a bait caster and palming that reel and being able to fish that much more efficiently, like there's a litany of reasons why I love to use it to my strengths, but it's crazy. Like, some people, they get on this shtick where they're like, oh yeah, bait finesse is, 1 gram baits, these super, super tiny, like trout magnets only. And I mean, that's definitely falls under the heading of bait finesse, but also like, there's a lot of tournament guys that I know that got into it specifically so that they could fish weightless soft plastics around docks more efficiently, and there's so much that you can do with it. Like it's interesting that you said that. Like you get that in your comments a lot because I get folks all the time that ask, "What can I want to dabble in it and kind of figure it out. What am I looking for?" And I'm like, really, what you're looking for is a small bait casting reel with a light, shallow spool, right? I'm like, you could buy whatever reel you want, and if it's compatible with a replacement spool, awesome, Or you could buy something that is designed for that. And I'm like, as far as the rod goes, I'm like, the hardest thing is finding somebody that's got a light bait casting rod. Yeah. And I mean, the heaviest that I see them go is really like medium light, And they're typically shorter rods for the most part because it's more about that accurate cast, short distance. You're not bombing giant casts here. Although I'll tell you, I have a couple of rods that I can bomb like the tiniest of baits so far.
Yeah, I'm like looking at my rods right now because I mean, Cashan makes a medium light. Their BFS rod is a medium light.
I know St. Croix has some.
Yeah, and then like I think a good way to illustrate it is like when we talk about mid-strolling and shaking a minnow, everyone's talking about 5-inch or 7-inch minnows, right?
Oh yeah,
that's like kind of the range. The company that I distribute, this is their minnow. They only make a maximum 4 inches. I was telling them like, you guys need to make me a 5-incher to sell here, and they're like, why? Like, that's too big. And I'm like, that's just how we fish out here. So I mean, like the idea is smaller stuff, and I think like bait finesse itself, cool gimmick, whatever you want to think. For me, when I tell people, it's like it's just being able to fish finesse on a bait caster, and it does require a little bit extra stuff. Like I don't actually own a bait finesse reel. I have an Antares A, which is a super shallow, not a shallow spool, but it's light enough to cast stuff. But then the thing is also in Korea, if we're going to go to that size, we don't have the same kind of like macho, like I can only fish a bait caster spinning reels for wussies. We go to a spinning. We have we don't have an issue with going to a spinning reel at all.
I think
we'll just go spin.
I think that's how most people should be. I will say this, like it gets down to availability and what's accessible where you are. It's like we had a guy reach out in our Live Well segment. This is a few weeks ago, and he asked the question. He's like, "Oh, I want to get into throwing like bigger glide baits and stuff." But I've fished with him before, and he's one of these guys that's spinning stuff only. And I was like, brother, I'm not saying that you can't do it, but you're going to have to Frankenstein the rig. You might be looking at a striper rod. You might be looking at, and is the drag system on that spinning reel going to be ideal for what you're doing with a glide bait? If you're trying to chop a glide, like is it going to be as effective, or does it just make more sense to learn how to use a bait caster and then bring that into the arsenal? It's like I use the analogy all the time. I was like, you could put a screw in with a hammer, but it's easier with a screwdriver.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. There's a tool. There's always you got to have the right tools.
And I love you nailed it. Like the macho thing. That is the worst part about fishing. Yeah. It's like when just people are just like, well, what? And I get caught up in it too. And I'll ask people, I'm like, yeah, so what's your PB? And like for Massachusetts, I've got a pretty significant Massachusetts PB, but I know people who have absolutely crushed it. You know?
I mean, like here, 5 pounds is a huge deal for us.
It's a big fish. Yeah,
and absolutely. in Florida, that's like a kid after school on his bike.
Yeah. It's like no big deal. So there's a lot that goes with it, man. It's just wild. And I mentioned in the pre-recording that my co-host Joe, he just opened up an online website, AVF Tackle Experts, and their primary focus really is like JDM baits for the most part. And he's got some reels in there. I already see myself spending more money over there. It's ridiculous. It's not a good thing. As far as like, if people are interested in checking out imported baits, what are some of the better sources that, you think somebody can go for like either education, or if they're looking to pick up something before you, I've never heard of Aros before.
Yeah, I mean, we just started. I literally sell it out of my apartment still.
That's nuts.
We just got them into Tackle Warehouse. We're getting them into some shops now.
All right.
So you're going to see them pop up a bit more. But I mean, if you have questions about JDM gear, ask me.
Yeah, that's really
ask
what it is.
I most likely will have an answer. But in terms of sourcing, like, JDM stuff can get pretty expensive.
Definitely.
Tackle Warehouse is getting more and more into it. They're just the biggest aggregate, right? They're the Amazon of bass fishing, fishing in general. They can just get everything they want. Actually, it's a really good source, and I need to delete the app, is Whatnot.
So that's how Joe got started.
Whatnot is
crazy.
Like, I just bought a whole bunch of stuff from them. Like, this is a Megabass gong that discontinued. I can't find them anywhere, but I got one on Whatnot, and for pretty cheap because it was like paint chipped. Like, I got a whole bunch of cool Megabass, like little griffins. We're talking about bait finesse.
Dude, I just got some of those from Joe.
These are deadly. The griffins are monsters, fish catchers.
That's good.
But yeah, like Whatnot. Specifically, I feel like Whatnot is specifically more for Megabass, but they do have some other stuff in there.
And it's funny you say that, because like Megabass is one of those where it's like got cult-like status. Like people just eat up Megabass, and it's the whole thing. Like there are people who are just like Megabass rods only. And
I'm that way.
That's
and
awesome,
it's like,
dude.
What it is I think what Megabass has done the best over any other fishing brand. I can fight anyone on this, is really taking the experience of an angler past catching fish, right?
Yeah.
Their whole philosophy is not just catching bass, it's the art of it.
Yeah.
From the bait to the reels to the rods, how you feel holding a rod. Like they've really nailed that down, right? A lot of companies will really try to nail down performance. Yeah. We got pros winning tournaments on our baits. We can catch you bass. But Megabass is like, we'll catch you bass, no worries. But can you do it? Can this become an extension of your life in a way that is premium, but also feels like art? And I think that's the big thing. Like, I like my big thing, especially with the way I talk about baits, is I always want to be able to give everyone different options for different kinds of baits.
Definitely.
But if I ever sell out, it's going to be because of Megabass.
Yeah, 100%. It's funny because Megabass really does tap more into the culture, and there are some elements of that. I think it's mainly content based, where it is about that fishing culture. You see this actually in the big swim bait world too, where it's like you like there are just folks like it's its own thing. You know, it's crazy. And you mentioned tournaments. Have you dabbled at all competitively?
You know, I think that's actually a really big part of why I come off as very different in the angling space. Is I never grew up around the tournament scene, right? In Korea, we don't have it. We're purely just trying to catch fish. Yeah. Why do we have to have the no point of us having a tournament if none of us can catch bass anyways, because it's so hard.
It's that pressured. Yeah, that's true.
So the big thing is like, I think now, especially in Asia, we're getting a bit more people trying to get in tournaments like Taku and all these Japanese anglers. It's like paving the way for a lot of Japanese anglers. Even Korean anglers are going to Japan trying to qualify to come out here. Yep. So it's coming, but I'm not a big tournament guy, you know.
Same here, really.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's also with JDM gear, it also comes out, you have to remember, if you ever have any questions why a JDM bait was made in that way, you have to remember that no one in Japan or in Korea fishes from a boat. No one.
That's the other interesting thing.
Even kayaks are just starting to become a thing. Yeah. In Korea, too, we're not even allowed to, you can't even get a freshwater boat and fish from it in a lot of lakes because it's illegal, but also you need a license. So everyone is bank angling. So all these baits. So you have to take everything from the lens of we're fishing from the bank. Yep. Yeah. So that's why a lot of these baits are very different. But yeah, so like tournament scene, maybe one day if I get invited to do something, you know, I think I am more of a guy that I know if I get into a tournament, I'm going to become hyper competitive and it'll be fun. But for me, fishing is a lot more about unlocking the puzzle of bass every day. All right, conditions, water temps, baits. Yeah. What is the Rubik's Cube I need to solve here to get a bite? And it's more about that pursuit, the journey of finding fish rather than catching fish. And
I love that. That's what I'm all about. That. Like when this show first started, I was apprehensive about starting because I had fished real young, you know, just live bait with my dad, trout fishing and stuff. And then I put it down, and I find this talking with a lot of folks that have been guests on the show. It seems like, and especially with guys, we discover girls and then it goes out the window until like later in life. And it was the same. It was in my 30s I picked fishing back up.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, oh yeah, I want a habit that's cheap. And that didn't work out. Yeah. Because it ain't necessarily cheap, that's for sure.
Hey, it's still I look at it as I could have been a car guy, but I'm not a car guy. So it's still cheaper than car parts.
100%.
It's still cheap. $500 mega bass rod is still cheaper than a $20,000 muffler.
Yeah, no, you said it all right there. That's 100% accurate. Yeah. But the thing is like, you know, when it comes to tournaments and everything, like my old co-host was a hardcore kayak angler, and he said to me before, and it baffled me. He was like, you know, I'd love to go and bank fish with you, man, but let's say I catch a giant and I'm in a monthly, it does me no good. And I'm like, what are you talking about? That's crazy. And I understand from like being like, oh, you're entered in this. So one of the things Jigs and Bigs does is we try to just as more of an excuse to engage with other anglers, because like geographically, there's no way we're going to fish with everybody that listens to the show. But what we'll do is we organize nationwide tournaments, and we started out doing a multi-species scavenger hunt to keep things kind of separate and interesting from everything else. And it truly is. It's like Pokemon, but for fish. It's the best. It's so fun.
That's super fun. Yeah.
And I think there's 22 or 23 species that are in there, and they're like the top 20 something species around the entire country. So there's a little something for everybody. Nobody's ever caught them all. Like it's impossible.
Yeah. I'm sure, but that's a journey.
You get, 12, 13, maybe 15, and you're doing really good. And they used to be a month long. We've changed it now. Now it's a week. We do it twice a year. We have a championship coming up in May, which is going to be
that's cool.
Bananas. That turned into a bass tournament because everybody wanted us to do a bass tournament. So we did a slot limit tournament nationwide. So only 12 to 17-inch fish count. And it's a numbers game. So the more inches you get of fish that fall in that window, and this was developed in a way so that somebody up north like we are can compete with somebody who's in Texas. You know,
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not
that's the
about the
big thing,
lunker.
yeah.
That's exactly
Yeah,
it. We
that's
just want to
awesome.
make it level the playing field. This year, we're introducing a team one, and it's
fun.
It's a monthly. You can select, and the states are, it's all 6 New England states, because we had to do it by region. And we're starting out with the main primary focus where our listeners are based. So the top, the 6 New England states, Pennsylvania, Jersey, and New York. No Great Lakes.
Ooh.
That's going to be its own region.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Without the Great Lakes, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it definitely, like, because we learned that from the multi-species scavenger hunt. We're like, we have a few people that are just fishing the Great Lakes, and they have access to some absolute giant fish, and like we adjusted some things in ways to kind of keep it there. But I love to ask people about tournaments because I think you're right. I think we all get a little bit competitive when we're in that situation, but there are some folks that they take it to where that's their whole focus. And I'm not hating on them. They're more than welcome to do that.
Yeah.
But I think for the vast majority of us, it's just a good way to have fun, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And make it a little interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's like the difference between, like, golfing with your friends and then golfing to see whoever wins gets $100 from everyone. Like, that's the main, like, that's the big thing. And, like, I may like golfing to golf, but, once in a while, hey.
We'll make it interesting.
I'll throw $100 in. Let's play.
Yeah, or put a steak dinner on it. That's
exactly.
That's my favorite.
Exactly.
You know,
whoever loses buys dinner, right? So it's like that's I completely understand that side. I mean, yeah, like I said, personally, I'm not seeking out tournaments.
Yeah.
But I did just buy an aluminum boat, and it has a live well. So
I was going to ask
if I ever get invited.
That is so.
I'll run it.
You're doing a whole build, right?
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
So not a whole build. I got very lucky. I found a guy on Facebook Marketplace, killer deal on a 16-foot aluminum. He had welded in the bars for the deck, the back deck, front deck.
Yep.
He had cut the plywood already, had the roll of carpet, had the motor ready, had a trolling motor, had a trailer, and just ran out of time to finish it. He even sandblasted the outside, repainted it. Oh, and then he was just like ran out of time, and so he's like, $2,000, you can have it all. I'm like, done.
Holy crap.
I was like, wasn't in my cards to get a boat, but if you're going to give it for $2,000, I can't say no.
That's too good of a deal, especially like the fact that he already welded the supports for the decking. It's already, you're way ahead.
He had piping running through it. The live well's already hooked up. I just have to plug in the aerator and get the bilge pump in there so it can pump water through. It's like, it's literally like, it's just a little bit left to DIY. I just had to learn how to carpet things. Right now, the biggest project is wiring. It's getting the wiring done. But definitely. I mean, like right after this, hopefully today I think I can get it finished. It won't be pretty. The wires, awesome. I just have to duct tape the wires to the sides, but we'll figure that out later.
You know, and then you'll get on the water and then you start making some changes. That's awesome, dude. That is really awesome.
I was like, if the motor, it's like an old crappy Force Mercury, and I've already read the bad reviews online, but whatever. It kicks the can. Fine.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, if you get the vessel where you need it to go down the road, you replace the outboard if need be.
It's a 2-stroke. I mean, like maybe I could probably learn to fix the thing myself. Like
probably those engines are tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's gonna be loud and screaming, but as long as it keeps chugging,
it'll get the job. And I'll be honest with you, like, so my boat is a 16 and a half aluminum V hull. And I have a 50 horse outboard on it. I'm going into my 3rd year with it. And I just checked the hours on the vessel view yesterday, 70 hours.
Oh yeah.
And I fish 4 days a week, usually. So I'm out there and you're essentially your trolling motor is going to be what you're putting the time in with.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm thinking. Like the only time I'm ever going to use I'm probably going to fish the Merrimack more this year because I live north of Boston. My storage space. I know where this
one question I have in mind is going to go.
My storage space is right on the 93, so I can pull it out of the storage, get onto 93, get right off the 93 onto that boat ramp that's right there, and go up it. And pretty much the plan is use the motor to get up the river far enough, and then just cruise back down on my troll and just troll back down, and then last year we went once because before this I was fishing out of a 15-foot inflatable. Yep. Was just a 40
that was a cool rig.
Pound thrust. Oh, it was great. Yeah. I can get into anywhere with that thing.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't sell it because it's so great. Yep. I can inflate it off my car battery or my trolling motor battery, and I can run it all day. I had a graph on it, like it was a whole rig. But The Merrimack was fun.
Oh yeah.
I lost like a 4-pound smallmouth on a glide bait there and like at the net. And I was like, we got to come back.
Man.
There's smallmouths in there. Like, we got to go.
That is freaking so awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you mentioned that you're located north of Boston, because the thing is, Jigs and Bigs is all about like the fishing community. Obviously, we want to share fishing stories. We want to talk about all of this cool stuff, but there's fishing adjacent stuff that people can relate to.
Yeah.
So I've got a Boston food question for you.
Ooh, okay. I'm in the restaurant business, so I work my full time. I work in the restaurant business, so I used to want to be a chef, so I am the guy to ask. I'm a hospitality major by craft.
You're speaking my language, man. Like I still work in the service industry right now, more in the entertainment side, but in the bar business. So if you had to choose one for the rest of your life, right? South Shore Bar Pizza or North Shore Beef Three-Way?
Oh, man.
I know, this is tough.
I'm going bar pizza.
Bar pizza. Ooh, I didn't expect that.
You have to remember, I'm a Connecticut boy. I'm a clam pie kind of guy.
Oh,
I'm a pizza kind of guy.
Okay.
I had a three-way once. The first time I had a three-way was in Maine, and I remember I was like on my way to work, and I like saw a truck. I was at an antique store, and I saw the truck outside, and they're like, "We got roast beef." I'm like, "Sick. Do you want a three-way?" I'm like, "What? Excuse me?
Yeah.
What are you asking me right now?" And they're like, "Oh, it's all the sauces." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And I like bit into it and I just got a big thing of sauce on my shirt right before work. I'm like, shit.
That's the worst thing about it.
So, I mean, roast beef is nice, but I think pizza. I got to go pizza.
I've yet to have a North Shore beef, and everybody is shocked when they're like, "You're Bobby Roast Beef." I'm like, I know, I'm yet, but I will say this: like, I'm a fan of the James River barbecue sauce, and you might be familiar with this place because I think it's in your neighborhood. But Jim's Market, B-Boys in the morning, baby, you can buy the James River barbecue sauce by the gallon up there. And then the next time I'm up that way, I want to say, I forget the name of the town that is. Medford, maybe? Might be Medford.
I think so.
And I'm going to stop. I'm going to pick some up because I actually kind of want to create a North Shore Beef Three-Way bar-style pizza and just like open a black hole somewhere.
That's the way. That's the way to do it. I mean,
all about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that is. I am surprised. That is badass. Yeah, I did. There's a spot. My buddy and I. This was last winter. And we were out looking. We were just like, we're going to go east and try and find open water. It's that time of year. We're like sick of spending money on baits because that's what we do in the winter. Like up here, we buy stuff and we get ready to go and fish. And we're at the point like, nope, let's just go and send it. And I wanted to do some scouting. And I was like, we'll go onto the Cape. We'll see if there's open water. And if there is, we'll take the boat next weekend. Yeah. So we get out there and it's just ice everywhere we go. We're like, we're not ice fishermen. We're just not into it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not that way either.
Yeah, it's just not my thing. But we end up out toward, man, I forget where it was. But I was like, we should grab something to eat. And I was like, we're on the South Shore. Let's find a spot. We ended up at Poopsie's, which is like famous for their bar style pizza. Famous. And we go in there and there happened to be a Patriots game on, and we're like, holy shit, this is all right.
Perfect.
This is great. Okay, cool. So we're just hanging out. It was absolutely out of this world. I recommend anybody, if you're in or around the Cape, grab a bar style pizza. Trust me, it's badass.
I know. I got to get down to the Cape more. I'm just scared of driving through Boston when I don't have to.
It's the worst. And I'll tell you. Although I will tell you, I like fishing the Cape a lot. If you ever want to get together and go and fish like some of the lakes out there, Mashpee or something like that.
I've heard so many people say you got to get down to the Cape has amazing largemouth and smallmouth fishing.
Really does.
Because everyone goes to the Cape and thinks it's just striper.
Yeah.
And everyone forgets about these ponds and lakes that are on there that are just crazy fisheries.
The trick I find if you're going to go and fish it is to do it off season when the tourists aren't there. Yeah, so like exactly. I won't go after Memorial Day and I'll wait until Labor Day to start going back.
Yeah.
And that's, I'll leave it alone otherwise. But like, when I'm driving out, it'll be like 3 a.m. Yeah. I'll be on the road. There's no traffic. It's just, have a cup of coffee on the way, get there, fish all day, and there's some really it's good for a round trip. But if you ever want to connect, we can definitely do that.
I mean, because the big thing that holds me back from going to the Cape is because I used to work in Maine, so I used to fish around Maine a lot. So for me, from here, I can get up to Maine quick.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
same drive, hitting traffic through Boston into the Cape, or just going straight up north. I can go straight up north, and I know my spots where I have lakes and ponds that are graphed out for me that I know.
Yep.
I can go. I used to go every day on my day off when I was working up there. I have that place patterned like the back of my hand.
Yep.
I will catch fish. I will catch smallmouth.
Maine is, I think, like it's just a whole other resource.
It's beautiful. It's the one place in the world, whenever I stop by a Bass Pro Shop in Maine, it is the only, or the Kittery Trading Post, it is the only place when I go to buy fishing tackle and it says, would you like to round up for the outdoor fun? It is the only place I will ever say yes to that question.
Always.
Every time.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
You see the money going to it. All the water's pristine, everything's clean. Like, it's just, I love fishing up there.
And it's funny because, like, up there, there's a lot of cold water species like specialists. Like they're all about those landlocked salmon. They're all about all the different species of trout. I believe there's a couple of spots where you can still find different char species. I'm not 100% sure, but that's like way, way up there.
Yeah.
And like, you know, you see it all the time, like, especially like around Moosehead. Have you ever fished Moosehead?
No, I haven't. I need to go to Moosehead. Yeah.
I got a bone to pick with Moosehead. I went there in May thinking it was going to be warm. The water was like 38 degrees. It was crazy. Like I was there with my kayak. So we only covered so much. Now I've got the boat and I found a spot where we were able to camp. You have to drive off-road like 6 miles to get to this spot. It was intense, but it was so worth it.
Yeah.
The wildlife was crazy. Like,
I mean, it's just pristine nature. Like, if you want to get back to just how it is to fish in nature and be in nature, you got to go to Maine. Like, that experience, just anywhere. Like, I fish southern Maine a lot, so like an hour and a half drive from me. Even there, it's just like you got loons. Like the pond that I used to fish had a loon population.
Yep.
And like if I catch bluegills by accident, the loons would come by and I like look at it and throw them the bluegill.
Yeah, why not?
Like, I'm like, this is crazy. I'm hand feeding loons right now.
Wild aquatic birds. That's awesome. That is freaking cool. Now you've done some traveling, like, you know, obviously like living in Korea. When you are, you know, when you've been here, what are some of the spots that are still on your like hit list that you want to go and fish? And I mean, I'm talking like anywhere in North America.
Yeah, Okeechobee.
Yeah.
Okeechobee, I mean, I work with a rod company called Witch Doctor Tackle. They're West Palm Beach.
Okay.
They also made a rod for Mike Sermon, who is an older pro. He's an Okeechobee hammer. They keep telling me, you got to come down to Florida. We'll take you with Mike Sermon to Okeechobee.
Yep.
And you can go make some braid sing, pitch and grass mats. And I was like, done.
That's sick.
You know, all the, actually China Lake in Maine is actually still one of them.
Oh, really?
Candlewood and China Lake are two that are on my New England hit list. Just because, you know, I'm in New England. Like, these are the places that we got to go. Like, these are the only places that really this pro series ever goes to. Lake Fork, of course. I want to go to Lake Fork. I want to fish the Delta. Like, all the classic. You know, of course, I want to do all these places I would see online in Korea that I want to go fish just because, you know, it's being able to, like, I would say fishing in New England is very similar to fishing in Korea. The types of bait we use, the way that we fish is very similar. No crawfish. We do have crawfish in Korea, but we ate all of them. The Koreans ate all of them, so we don't have a lot. So a lot of like very bluegill, bait fish, focused fish. It's very similar. That's what makes it very similar here. But I want to go down to like Texas and Florida, you know, fish some big jigs and do all of that style of fishing. Go out to California, fish some big swim baits. So, you know, it's I think more than like these classic spots. Of course, I think Okeechobee is the biggest one because I want to go to Okeechobee and fish soft plastics that are called Okeechobee, like that color,
and
Okeechobee craw. I just want to go and just like, is this why? I just want to see why they may call it Okeechobee craw.
Yeah, if that's the one that they just freaking own it. And you know, it's funny, man. Like there's lakes, same thing where they were like hot spots in the Falcon Lake in Texas is one that I don't know. It's like I've heard from folks like it hasn't fished like that since since the 90s or early 2000s or something, and it just kind of got forgotten about. And I'm like, I want to go check that out. I've got spots like Arizona, you know, Roosevelt Reservoir. I want to fish out that way. I've just heard like there's like that's a cool thing now about the media side of things.
Yeah, you can see all these cool places.
Yeah, because like with podcasts, like I'll listen to like Serious Angler, and they have regular episodes where it's all about the biology of the fish and the ecosystem, and like I can nerd out on that stuff all day long.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
I love
I mean, it's a big country we got, right?
Yeah.
Like even things like Jeffrey the King, who's like the big glide bait guy.
Yep.
Like if you watch his videos, I don't know where he's fishing, but those places that just rock banks and rock cliffs just going into water.
Yep.
Like that's just great. You know what it is that actually more than anything is I'm sick and tired of Massachusetts slime. I'm so sick and tired of our slime that we get.
Oh yeah, man.
I just want to fish. I just want to fish some big boulders and big rocks. Actually, like Maine, you can get into that, which is great and so much fun.
So I know a spot, and it's in Connecticut, ironically enough, but it's right along the border of Massachusetts, and it's western Connecticut. It's called Colebrook Reservoir. Now, the Colebrook River feeds that, and I have never seen a body of water. It feels like you're fishing a rock quarry. Like there's it's not like anything that we normally see around here. Yeah. The launch is run by the Army Corps of Engineers, so they have like some pretty particular rules and everything. It's a decent launch, but I've seen this place flood to where I have never experienced anything like it. Like where I was out, this was I guess it was like April or May. It must have been last April. I think it was right after I got back from St. Clair. I was with my buddy. This was the trip where I introduced him to bait finesse. And I was like, just put this in your hand, because he hates throwing small baits because he loses the control, when he's throwing them on the heavier gear. So I was like, just try this. I gave him, what was it? It was a Ben Key, what is it? There was an ultralight rod. And I think it was like a Cast King reel that was on it. Yeah. And we were just throwing like little, like maybe like 16th ounce jig heads with 3-inch soft plastic swim baits.
Oh, yeah.
And we were just lighting up fish all around, and there were treetops. Like you would go out.
Oh,
50
that's what
feet.
I want. I want to fish some treetops, man.
Dude, when they're flooded, like I was like, I'm looking at. I didn't even have my graph, but I was like, I'm where we are right now, Paul. I'm like, we're all on a road. Like this is a walking trail. We're like 30
That's
feet
so
above
cool.
it.
I mean, because it's like I had graphs on my old boat. I got active target on this new boat, so I'm super excited to up the graph game. But it's like a lot of the ponds, especially around Boston, are pretty boring structurally.
Yeah,
like I look at my side scan, and it's just like there's nothing down there.
Yeah.
It's like there's not even someone throw a tire in here, please. Something I can see on side scan.
Something they can relate to. Anything.
Just anything. Yeah. And it's just rolling banks and rolling hills, and it's just like it's really boring.
Yeah. It's no wonder why these fish get their spots.
I have this graph and I can't see anything. It's just I just want to see something on my graph. I just want to see something. That's the big thing. I just want to see some structure or some cover for them.
No, man, it makes a big difference. It really, really does. And this place is like, it's unlike anything. It's worth it. It'll be a ride for you, but it'll 100% be worth it. It's a good spot.
I mean, like I said, my boat is stored in a storage space right on the 93, so I can get in and out as fast as I need to.
That is awesome, man. I love it. That's the way to do it. So let's talk a couple of fishing stories. Actually, you know what? Before we get into that, I haven't asked this question in a while. So when you are, getting ready and you're going out for the day, right? What are you listening to get hyped up on the way to the water?
Oh, what am I listening to?
Yeah, whether it's a podcast, whether it's music, whatever it is, like what's your your walk-up song?
You know what it always is, hey, it's Matt from Tactical Bassing.
That is the most honest answer I've ever heard.
It is. I know what I need to fish, right? Yep. Like, say it's springtime, I know what I need to fish. I just need to hear Matt from Tactical Bassing telling me, you're going to fish a crankbait today. It's springtime. You're going to fish a crankbait and a lipless crank. That's what you're going to do.
Yep. No. That makes absolute sense.
I just need to be reminded what I need to do.
And it's true, because there's people who they know. They absolutely know, but maybe it's just that reassurance of that familiar voice where they're like, oh, yeah, that's right. Of course, it's spring. It's cold. This year, it's so funny you mention a lipless, because that for me for years has been a go-to cold water bait. Mm-hmm. And I think the last 2 years I kind of wrote it off. I don't know why. I think I was pushing more for other moving, like to build confidence with other moving presentations. And this year, I bought my first ever glass rod. And I'm
nice.
yeah, we're gonna dabble. I'm like, this is a perfect opportunity to start throwing a lipless, especially in like that deeper water.
Yeah.
And just yo-yo that sucker and see what we can come up with.
If you're getting into the lipless game, I'm gonna give you a little secret. I'm seeing them show up. Issei from Japan,
Okay.
ISSEI. They sell that soft Tackle Shack in Texas. Is the guys bringing them in more. They sell the literally. A soft plastic looks like a dick and balls, but it's a soft. It thumps like a chatterbait.
Yes,
it's actually. I have a bunch of those because they're so effective. It's a weedless chatterbait. It's a soft plastic that feels like a chatterbait.
No kidding.
The balls of it thump like a chatterbait,
like a blade.
But
really,
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But the reason why I say that company is because they make a lipless crankbait that looks like a crawfish or like a shrimp kind of folded over itself.
Yep.
However, the big thing that a lot of companies don't do here in the U.S. is the lipless fall too fast. That lipless is a little bit wider of a body, and it shimmies really slow down. So you have to fish a little slower, but when you hop it, it doesn't immediately fall back to the bottom.
Yeah,
it shimmies back down, and it's a really deadly presentation.
That's good to know. And it's funny because I think that's a brand that Joe carries at AVF Tackle, if I'm not mistaken.
Issei is they've got some. Their stuff is money. Those guys are that company are true bass heads. Issei is like, I love their stuff. When I went back to Korea, I bought a bunch of the stuff and came back with it because I fished them so much.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
That lipless is killer.
It's so funny, man, because there's certain brands that same thing with me with Jackal.
Yeah.
Like that is one for me where I'm just like, I think it was the Darabreak is what was like the first downsized vibrating jig I ever fished. And it was when I was over at Chickamauga and I was out with a guide.
Chickamauga's one.
Dude, it's great. In fact, if you ever go to Chick, there is a spot that I would probably recommend you go out with Caleb Bell.
Okay.
He's a great guide. He's awesome. We had just terrible conditions. We got into town and there were tornadoes coming through. It was just crazy. They got 45 minutes. They got an inch and a half of water in rain.
Whoa.
It was crazy. And I mean, it's dirty water there anyway.
Yeah.
But this was it was like Yoo-Hoo meets chocolate milk. That was the mud line. It was crazy to see. And the guy, he was out with clients the day before and they were catching 8s. We caught them, but we just had to smack them in the face with something. And
you have to get it so close.
That's exactly it. It was just and there were no real bigs that we caught, but we had a great time. There was a spot down there. It's a tackle shop called Talkin' Tackle. They have Airbnb rentals right upstairs. I can't recommend this place enough.
Wow, that's awesome.
Oh, it's in a great spot, but be prepared because I want to say we stayed there for $100 a night. It wasn't crazy.
Yeah.
They get you at the tackle shop.
Yeah, exactly. You can stay upstairs free, but if you come downstairs, you're going to spend $500.
You're going to drop some money in that shop. Yeah. It is everything they have in there is absolutely amazing. The hollow body swim baits that we were using, they were just out of, and we're like, oh, that would have been. But they had a bunch of Darabreaks. I bought a whole shitload of them, probably $200 in bladed jigs. It was ridiculous.
Darabreaks are great. The TN50s, if we're talking lipless.
Yep.
The Jackal TN50s are just money. But yeah, Jackal stuff is sick.
It's one of those brands. It's anytime I see it anywhere, I'm like, oh, let's see what Jackal's got to offer. That could be good. Here's money spent. But I do want to know, what your this is usually how I wrap up these interviews is there's 2 stories that I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. I'm looking for the moment on the water that you're most proud of, and that for some people that's a PB. For other people, it's a random unique species or something like that. Whatever it is, that moment, but then also the biggest epic fail. And most people have the hardest time with that story because there's so many to choose from,
So epic story. Oh man. Epic story is going to come from early when I was fishing in Korea.
Yep.
That same, when I was still buying used tackle from that shop and going out there, I was fishing a deep diving crankbait in shallow water around these massive boulders. I was getting everything stuck. Mm-hmm. And I was just, I don't know what I was thinking. I was just I had a Zebco rod that I bought at a Walmart in the States over summer break. So I was ripping that thing through deep not deep. I was actually just ripping it through rocks.
Yep.
And I pulled up like a 5-pounder out of that river, which is crazy.
That's awesome.
It's impossible to catch big fish out of there. That was a big one. I guess another big story was when I finally moved back here to the States. When I was in Connecticut, I was fishing. I brought all my tackle with me.
Yep.
First fish I caught in the States was a yellow perch.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yellow perch in
One of my
Connecticut on
favorites.
a wacky rig Senko, and I remember being so excited because I've never seen a perch.
Yeah.
We only have carp, bass, and bluegill in Korea. So the yellow perch was so much. I was like, whoa, what is this? And then I caught a crappie after that, and I was like, all the new species I was catching was really cool. I guess also in that same line, when I moved up to Maine, I was like, I'm in Maine. I guess I got to teach myself to fly fish. So I bought a fly rod, watched a bunch of YouTube videos, taught myself to double haul, and then realized that no one double hauls in New England because we don't need to.
Yep.
But I caught my first brook trout on a fly rod.
That's epic, dude. There is nothing more New England ever than that there.
Catching a brook and just holding it. And then, most epic story. It's if you go on my fish brain.
Yep.
3 days before Christmas, so December 22nd, I was off at Tailwater on Lake Sebago in my waders. I was 2 pairs of sweatpants in my waders with a fly rod, fishing streamers underneath a bridge because it was snowing and my guides were freezing up so bad. So I was like taking cover under this bridge, and I pulled. Oh man, I gotta find this photo for y'all. Biggest brown trout of my life. Like, I remember I actually snapped my fly rod on that fish, and then I snapped the rod. I was like, shit, I snapped the rod.
Yep.
My rod tip is hanging in the water, and I'm like, I will go in this water if I'm good.
Oh, if you need to, yeah.
At this point, you've broken my rod. You're coming with me.
Yeah.
But let me see. It's not that far back, because I remember it was the craziest thing. Like, oh, here we go. December 21st, 2021.
Dude, that's a great brown.
Oh, it was crazy.
Dude, that's a great looking fish.
Oh yeah. I mean, never in my life have I've never caught a brown trout after that.
Yep.
But I remember I had nothing to do. It was snowing out. I was under that bridge because of the snow, and just the craziest fight of my life. And after that, I was like, all right, see ya, brown trout. I'm done fishing for the day. I'm done fishing for the year, because that's the craziest thing.
Sometimes that's all you need is like that one really good fish, and you're just like, that was
the craziest thing.
Yeah.
That was not far into my fly fish. I think that summer I started fly fishing.
That's freaking.
But that was that was the craziest fish I've ever caught. And then the biggest fail.
Yeah.
Biggest fail was last year on the Merrimack. I have the video footage because I had my GoPro on. I was fishing a glide bait, closer cover, massive smallmouth just comes out, hits my glide bait.
Yep.
And then a second smallmouth is chasing it, trying to figure out what's going on. And I'm fighting this thing, and it's a smallie on a glide. So it's just ripping my drag.
Oh, yeah.
And I get it to the boat, and I'm like, oh my God. And I have it's not even here. I have one of those dinky wood, like those wood fly nets that you have, the fishing nets. And I'm like, shit. I'm like, come on. And I go to put the net in, and it pops the hook on my glide. And then you see in the video where I
you freeze almost, right?
Jam my net, hoping to pull it in, but it's gone.
Oh
I
yeah,
lost it.
Yeah,
it's and just at the net at the boat, 4 pound, probably it was going to be the biggest smallmouth of my life, gone. I could have been 5. Who knew? If it was, I tell myself 4 just to protect my sanity from the memory of losing that fish, because it's a 4. Okay, that's a big smallmouth, but
it is.
It wasn't a 5. It wasn't a 5.
That is the worst. Like, because when you've got the net right there and you're like, oh shit, it just came off.
Trust me, right after that, on the way home, we stopped at Dick's and I bought one of those big nets.
Definitely.
I was like, not 100%. Again. Never again. Never again.
I am a fan of having a net all the time. Like, it comes from being a kayak angler and just having that accessibility. Plus, like, when you're in a kayak, the net's your live well. I'll put that fish, like, when I caught my PB largemouth, it was a 7-pound largemouth. And this fish was just like, I needed a minute. After I took that jig out, I was like, what I would do is just run the long handle of my net under the pedal drive of my kayak. So it's not going anywhere. Leave that fish right there, catch my breath,
get the shakes out, let the shakes get out.
You know, and then I'll take that fish and put it on the board, get a measurement and everything, and I'm like, all right, now we're good to go. And it's having that is good. Having it, and you're going to notice is like when you're in a boat, having a live well is exactly that. It's that pause moment. You know, hit spot
I was
lock,
like, I'm super excited to get super excited to have that live well.
I'm excited for your content when you get out on the water.
Well, yeah, that's that was the big. I think even more than just having a boat myself. The inflatable is great. I caught plenty of fish out of that.
Definitely.
But the big thing was, I was talking about this is like on my videos about the boat. Big thing is being able to upgrade my content for my viewers. If you notice, I don't make a lot of underwater content, which is great. I've been very fortunate that I was able to grow a following without ever catching a fish. Right?
That's amazing, dude.
Which is great. It's a big part of that has been able to keep my, big thing is I love fishing so much. Trying to film and fish can get annoying sometimes. For sure. When you got the GoPro on your chest and you got to remember it's there, making sure my mic's on. And it takes, for me, that's actually why I Hobbyist Fishing has been an account I've had for a while. And I've tried making fishing content before, but I just got so frustrated with GoPros not working, trying to remember my camera being charged. Is it charged? Oh, shoot, I missed that bite. And it really just pulled me away from fishing. And I was like, whatever. I don't want to do content then. I'd rather just fish than make content and be an influencer. It's
wild because you nailed it. Like a lot of the issues or the hurdles have to do with powering that gear when you're walking around. So like the one thing that I've learned is pull those batteries out of those cameras and run them on an external. And it makes a huge difference. They don't overheat. Like they just work so much better.
If you want to see my rig for filming on the water, I strap a bomb to my chest pretty much every day.
Definitely,
That's a big battery to my camera. The DJIs have that back recording feature, so it's always running.
Yeah.
So if I get a bite, I just have to remember to hit one button.
Yep.
This has really changed my filming on the water.
Definitely.
It's always on. It's always ready to go. This little mic connects directly to it. It's a wireless mic, so I don't have too many cables. This setup has really changed how I fish and film content. And then for the boat, what I'm planning is actually bringing the same camera, but I'm going to figure out how to mount the pole in the back of the boat or next to my console just to have a bird's eye kind of view of me fishing.
Yep.
So, and then I know they sell
that sound. You should check out some of my videos because that's what I've got a camera that's on the windshield of my console. So that's the one that I'll get clips like the up close stuff. Yeah. And then I've got exactly what you're saying, like a rear ultra wide angle that records everything. Like my first
and the mic, you'll hear me well on the mic. And then I can turn around and it literally can just turn around and look at the camera and say, all right, so we got a jerkbait tied on. This is what I'm fishing. And then, and also like I talked about a little bit about getting active target and I'm like super excited for that. And I don't care what anyone says about pros and that's pros and whatever and fighting about electronics. But if I'm going to be creating content to teach people how to fish or just to catch fish for fun and show people a good video, that's the best tool for it. If I can guarantee fish, and then I'm really excited, especially for like my glide bait fishing. I love glide bait fishing, but I'm really excited to be able to download the footage from the active target on the graph and show and line it up with me working my rod and letting people see when I glide this glide bait out. You'll see this bass come look at it, but it's not going to hit it until I make that next sharp cut.
Exactly.
And really be able to show that in real time of like, hey, and really build that kind of bridge that gap of like, it's one thing for you to see me doing chop with my reel and then chop and then pull a fish, but it's another thing to see it on the graph and illustrate that point.
Oh yeah. Once you have that it's that different perspective of the sonar, you're like you can explain so much that much better, throw in some graphics like this is the fish, that's my bait, and then it makes it so obvious to somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
That's what I'm super excited and also like on the 15-foot inflatable it's like a kayak, so like it's only chest cam footage. I'm not gonna chest cam footage. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of. Like, it's cool, first person perspective. Everyone does it. I would rather much have a camera that I can turn around and look at and be like, "Hey, this is what I'm fishing," and just talk to a person directly through the camera, rather than be like with my hands in front of me, like, "Here's my jerkbait. I'm going to be throwing it here." But there's a time and place for that. But yeah, super excited for the content off the boat. I mean, that's going to be great.
Awesome, man. Xander, let everybody know where they can follow you, like where you're most active. If they want to follow up and ask questions, how they can reach out to you.
Yeah. Big thing is my name is Hobbyist Fishing. So Hobbyist, HOBBYIST _ fishing. I'm on everywhere: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Threads. But you can find me on there. I'm probably the most active on Instagram.
Yep.
I'm on TikTok as well. I know my younger audience is on TikTok. But generally, if you have a question, shoot me a question. I try to answer as many as I can, try to point people in the right direction. I post every day, Monday through Friday, talking about different techniques. I'm always trying to answer as many comments as I can. And then my social media, so TikToks, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, short form content will always be educational. And then hopefully my YouTube, if you like me as a person and wanted to see more of me fishing in day-to-day life, that'll be my YouTube long form content.
That's awesome, dude. That is awesome. Dude, thanks so much for being on the show. This is really
thanks for
great.
having me. You're the first person to ever invite me onto a podcast.
Real? Well, I got news for it. So I believe, I don't know if you've talked to him before, but on Instagram, Wolf of Walmart, Dave Urkey.
Yeah, yep.
He's a homie. Like, I love Dave. He's great. He's out in California. He does a podcast as well called The Whole Angler. It's a little bit of a different style of fishing podcast. It's just more about the people and their lives.
Oh yeah.
And it's very, very interesting. And when I told him I was going to get you on the show, he was like, dude, if you have his number, you got to throw it to me, man. I'd love to get that guy on the show. And
I mean, like, well, I'm not to anyone that wants to. I'm always happy to talk fishing. We're anglers. Any chance we get to yapping for an hour about fishing, I'm game.
That's what I'm saying. What's there's no downside with that. No downside.
Exactly. I'm
whatsoever.
happy. I'm always happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're looking for get me on a podcast, always anyone shoot me a message. I'm always happy to be there.
Dude, this is so good. Thank you, Xander, for being part of the show. I really appreciate it. Do me a favor, though, and shoot me a DM with a picture of you holding a giant, and we'll use it on the cover art of this episode. That way, if somebody's looking for you, they're going to see you right on the cover.
Awesome. We'll get that over to you.
Sounds good, dude. Well, hey, we'll be in touch because you and I, we're going to fish. We're going to go get a bar pizza, and then we're going to go get we'll
go race our tins. We'll go race our boats.
I'm all about it. It's going to be a good time.
We're going to go do some aluminum racing.
Collab video in the works. I think that's
for sure.
Pretty badass.
That's a big thing. Last year, I was kind of like on my own little island. This year, I really want to get out there and fish with some folks.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Well, hey, thanks so much, man. This is really, really great. And this episode's going to drop late Monday night.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, quick turnaround.
Fast. Love that.
Awesome, man. Thanks so much, dude. Have a good one.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bud. All right.
Have fun on the water.
Oh, I will.
Hi there. Welcome to the Live Well, where we crack open a ramp beer and attempt to answer all of your burning questions.
Oh, yeah. So here we are, folks, the Live Well. Think of this as like the water cooler. This is where we have conversations with callers that call the hotline and maybe ask us some questions, share an opinion. This is very, very loose. We allow a lot of things here. And this week specifically, we're going to dive into some stuff. Specifically, we're jumping into a technology topic to start out with. Let's hear from a longtime listener and local guy, Alec Plotnikevich.
Hey, Bobby and Joe. It's Alec, everybody's favorite milkman. Got a question for the live all. Last week, I think it was, Joe briefly mentioned the new Live 360 sonar that's been released. Now, for reference, I want to say I'm not anti-technology in fishing. I have forward-facing sonar myself, and I love it as a tool. But this was the first time I saw something being released technology-wise that made me stop and say, maybe we shouldn't go this far. Don't get me wrong, I think it's cool as hell and I'd love to try it. And I know it doesn't make the fish bite, but there's something about seeing everything around you that's happening, like live, that just kind of turned me off to it. Especially in a scenario when you're fishing a tournament for money and certain guys have it, certain guys don't. Which I know it's available to everyone, but just love to hear your thoughts on it. Tight lines, fellas. Bye.
You've seen this video, right, Joe?
Yeah.
It's Lowrance, isn't it? I think it is. I think it's Lowrance.
Is it?
I want to say, or maybe it's just one of them. But, we've heard this from folks that speculated that, folks that would complain about forward facing, they'd be like, you wait till what's going on in the chamber. Like, see what's coming down the pipe. It's going to blow you away. The videos that I've seen of this, it's very, very, Bert's saying Garmin. I
it's
want
Garmin. Yeah, it's Garmin.
I want to say there's maybe I'm thinking of something else, but it is crazy. I'm gonna actually take a look myself and you know what, he actually sent it to us, that reel. Alec did. So let's go ahead.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did. It's under the Jigs and Joes.
There
we go. Yep. And he goes, this is the video right here. No, it is Lowrance live active target. XL 360. It is crazy. I'm gonna get the friggin' I'm gonna get fucking flagged for the audio, but let me go ahead and turn the speaker down here and show it to you. Like, it's crazy looking. Absolutely crazy looking. And it's super high def. You can see so much for details. But it is, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like for tournament anglers, I think a lot of what it truly gets down to is what that tournament trail is going to allow, you know?
Sure.
And I think that there's nothing wrong with trying to create a trail that will allow, you know, specific technology or won't. And I think that ultimately, like, the directors have to figure out, like, well, so all we can do, like, as tournament directors is look at the possibility and decide, like, who, because you can't make everybody happy. Who are you going to piss off? You know, so like if you run a tournament, or maybe you have to split it and do one trail that's, you know, the cutoff for tech is this, and then another trail where it's wide open. So this way you could try to, you know, and people they'll try to pacify everybody, but it's crazy. Jay Manning says, dude, next thing is a 3D projection of fish on your Ray-Ban Meta glasses. I wouldn't doubt it. Joe's got some. Yeah, it is absolutely nuts to see this actually happen. Those are the glasses, Joe. That's the Vermont Cop glasses right there.
That's the Vermont Cop
That's
glasses.
Super Troopers, straight up. Yep. Wow. Get the maple syrup. So, yeah, I think, I think ultimately, like, for the tournament anglers now, overall, you know, I think Alex nailed it right there. He's like, I know this doesn't, like, catch the fish for you or anything, but is it going too far? I don't know. You know, I don't know if it's.
I don't have an answer yet.
Yeah,
it's too new. It's too like they're just I have to see. I need more information. And I'm very pro technology. Obviously, I've made that very.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Very obvious here, but
I do want to mention that that specific unit that with the video. This is the one that Alec had sent over, and it was. I'll share this. I'm going to actually share it on the story on the Jigs and Bigs story right now as we record this. And what this is it's called Active Target X2XL Live 360. And it's listed here on this post as being the Lowrance Active Target 2 XL 360. Absolutely amazing. Details are next level. Can't wait to put more time on the water with it. Man, I just can't believe that, dude. Oh, my God. There's so many people in the comments are like, it's not a good tool if it's such and such. And it's like, Yeah, so, I mean, I'm kind of with you, Joe. Like, time will tell. I think ultimately... You know where I do see this being a problem? The one area?
What's that?
Poachers. Like, everybody talks about tournament angling. Everybody talks about, like, you know, your friendly fishermen and shit like that. They're catching. If you're doing it legally and you're following what's acceptable in that fishery, you know, if you're following creel limits and you're all this other shit and you're releasing fish when you're supposed to release fish and everything else, then okay, I think that realistically what we're going to see is changes to regulations for that, the impact that it's going to have on the fish, and there's something that can be done. But when you're not fishing legally and you're like that angler that had, what was a Wild Bill called the FTG on, the kid that had like 14 fish and no license. You know, and the limit to keep was 2. Like if you're out on and you're just like, I mean, think about like, especially with commercial fishing, shit like that. Like if people are just like, oh, we're tracking whatever species for this. I could see where that might be a thing, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's too soon. I mean, you guys see it's, oh no, I'm looking at, I'm just looking at other shit. Yeah, it's saying Garmin came out with one also. To be 100% honest, I'm kind of my guess is this has kind of been in obviously in the works for a few years now.
I would think so.
And they probably are like, fuck, like should we even like with all the bullshit going on, should we even like release this? Yeah. You know what I mean? So
and
who knows?
I don't really know all the details, but wasn't Lowrance kind of like in the world of forward facing? Weren't they the ones that were kind of like, yeah, we offer it? Like, kind of.
It
would make sense if they had this
right
going
now with the forward
background.
Facing, dude. Like Garmin still has it.
Oh yeah,
you know, Garmin.
That's
still
kind
has
of the
it.
name where everybody says that's the one.
So,
but I could definitely see if they knew that this was in the chamber, they'd be like, "Oh, we're not going to blow our load here. We're going to hold off, and then we're going to throw this out here." So, does Randy know about this? Bert says,
"I'll bet you that motherfucker does."
I'll bet you he does.
Yep.
You know, and get ready.
Yep.
All it's going to do is just give him more topics to rant on and use to engage with rage baiting. You know, that's it. That's all it's going to do.
Yeah.
You know, there's going to be those groups, but I do think because I think both of us are significantly older than Alec. So to hear a younger dude go express a little bit of concern, like I think that's interesting as well.
Yeah.
You know, I think I just looking at the whole thing, but it's pretty badass. It really is.
Yeah.
The detail is insane.
If they completely ban it from all tournaments, I'll never get it. If they don't, maybe I'll get it.
Yeah. Fuck around with it. Hey, Lowrance, I'm still a believer. Yeah, I'm rocking a hook 7. You know, if you want to throw me one of those to try out, you know, I'll return it if you want. To John Hagan says, I'm waiting for Deeper to come out with a portable live scope to complement their portable sonar. Shit's fucking crazy, man. It just is. This next message came in via text. And this is from Adam Ducharme, who says, hi, this is Adam. My question for the live well is, I'm looking on adding a glide bait or two to the tackle box. What's a reliable brand and size to start out with? And what color schemes work well in New England waters? So, Adam, as far as color goes, let's start with this. It really, when it comes to glides, doesn't so much matter. You know what I mean? Like, I have a lot of folks go and that I've seen that are like, yeah, for your, you know, you obviously can match the forage, but if you go with something that's just going to be seen, go for it. You could get a white bait and be good generally, because a glide bait is all about kind of like developing interest and having these fish see it and come to it, it being large enough for that. A couple of them, we talked about some of the ones. I will say, I think in all seriousness, if you're just getting into it, I would look at some of the more accessible ones. I wouldn't go out and drop a couple $100 on like an awesome like throwback or something right off the rip, or a clutch. You know what I mean? Sorry, Joe. You know, I would hold off until like you kind of get comfortable with it. Some of them that are pretty cool, like we talked about the the River to Sea S Waver. That's one like a lot of people. That's not like a chop style bait. It's more of like just a wide. That's why it's called the S Waver. It's like the wide turning glide, and it does great. It's the thing is it's accessible and it's smaller and lighter. You won't need like crazy specialized gear necessarily. I also would recommend another one. This one's from Dark Horse Tackle. This is even a little bit more compact than that one S Waver. The 168 is the Pistol Pete from G-Rat baits.
G-Rat.
Yep. The Pistol Pete it's a great size to kind of get started with. That one is pretty, so I'll be throwing that actually very soon. And then I think the other one, and this is a little bit larger, and we've mentioned this one a lot, is that the KGB Chad Shad collab with Spro is an absolute home run, because that bait is more of a chop style glide. And when I say chop, like the angle of that glide is a little bit more severe, so you can get different moves. I was throwing the Chad Shad, the one that you sent me, Joe. I was throwing that, and I just wanted to test it on my old moving bait rod, which is not a swim bait rod. It's a 7.4 medium heavy moderate fast, right? And I just wanted to try it out to see how. And I know that is way overrated for that rod, because that bait comes in at 2 3/8 ounces. I think that rod is rated for like 2 ounces, or maybe 1 ounce and 3/4, something like that. And, you know, like, you can go over on those ratings. You just have to be careful about the cast. You know, you be cognizant of it. So I was just kind of lobbing this sucker over, but that bait swims totally different. Now, I did notice, like, there was a couple of times where I would really, really, like, try to turn it around, and the trebles would get hooked on my line. It only happened once. Once you're aware of it, but you can make it do some pretty cool shit. The nice thing is like, a lot of these baits are anywhere from, like, I think there's low cost is like $20 to up to the KGB Spro Chad Shad is $60. But versus throwing like on a $100, $200 glide, like, you know, I would say take your time and look at that. But definitely getting into colors, get what you want. Like, whatever you think looks cool, just because I, you know, and if you're an angler that's like, oh, this is all about, you know, I want to match the hatch. A lot of glides are going to be a shad profile. And around here, you know, there are glides that are bluegill profile, but, you know, you make the call of what, you know, what you want to do. But a lot of them are. And there's what is it? The Micro Boss from Clutch.
Yeah.
What you're carrying that, right?
No, I just have the Ecos right now.
You got the Ecos. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yep.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, there's some, I mean, I would also.
And Throwback. I have Throwback.
Yeah, you've got Throwback too. Throwback
makes
some really good stuff. And there's actually, Throwback has a couple of models that are a little downsized, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, if you want to take that leap and you're like, this is a style of fishing I could definitely like see and figure out, like, don't go taking your expensive glides and throw them into a laydown or a tree. You know what I'm saying? Unless you want to go dig it up, blow up the spot and everything else. But like, generally speaking, like, I would say that's kind of your move. Start around there. An S waiver is a great place to start. The Pistol Pete is great. Like, it's such a forgiving size, but if you really insist on that larger size, the KGB Chad Shad collaboration with Spro is just money in the bank.
Yep.
What's this? Bert asked about says, what's everyone's thought on the little baby bull shads? I haven't thrown the baby bull shads yet. Have you seen it, Joe?
I haven't thrown it, but I have them. Yeah. And they're pretty cool little bait, man. They're pretty popular too.
The Buka baits are awesome. You know, they really are. Like, just that design, they're fantastic. I have one, I think it's a 3-segment Buka, and it's fantastic. But like, that's a different animal. Like, for there, you're chucking and winding, you're covering water, and that's something that actually might come into play even like this weekend. Actually, I should probably throw it out in a box for tomorrow. I'll tell you the truth. It might not be a terrible idea. Well, this next one is this next one? I think it's Eli in this next call. Yeah, this is Eli. Let's see what Eli's got to say.
Hey, it's Eli for a question for the live well. Joe, I'm sorry. I'm going to make you think a little bit. I am currently at my in-laws place in central Indiana, walking my dog across a couple docks, and I look over, and there's about 1,000, maybe even more than that, just shad. To be honest, no idea what kind they are, but they're just dead. Right next to the bank, all this. And I'm wondering, how much do you think, like, these cold fronts, where we go, like yesterday, I think the high said it was 87, and now I'm wearing sweatshirt, sweatpants, my hands are freezing. How much of that do you think affects the bait fish? And then in turn, maybe it doesn't affect the bass as much, but it affects what they eat as much. And so how much do you think that will affect them maybe turning off the bite window, making it smaller. So yeah, how do you think the effect on bait fish affects bass and how they eat and stuff like that? Have a great day, boys.
All right. So I feel like you went all over the place a little bit with this one.
A little bit, yeah.
So the cliff notes of it, correct me if I'm wrong. It's warm. Will that affect the bait fish? Or warmed up, then it gets cold. Will that affect the bait fish? Or will the bait fish being affected affect the bass?
Now, that is kind of what he said. So it's all sort of related, you know?
Yeah.
And Todd nails it right here. He goes, shad seem to be fragile. See, we don't have shad up here.
Oh, because he saw a bunch of dead. Yeah, okay.
It was a bunch of dead shad. John Higgins chimes in. He says, shad kills common in our area this time of year. Catfish gorge on the dead ones and the dying shad. The temperature spikes are rough on shad, which makes total sense. Because that's a big turnaround. That's a big swing, you know? And for those smaller fish, I would and I'm making an assumption, I would assume that those smaller fish probably feel that a little bit more than some of your larger predators do, you know, and temperature, like you'll see that here where there might be a fish kill, you know, in some of our lakes and ponds. I can remember when I was working in a TV station, like people would call in, they're like, the area smells like fucking dead fish, blah, 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 blah. And that's what it was. There was a fish kill. There's all these dead fish along this one body of water. And it just happened to be like some of those transition times, like when things would warm up or get really hot and let's be honest, I think that we're seeing more of this stuff because we do have these days. Like there was a day this week where we had like 70 degrees and then at night it was like I think it was under 30.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a big swing. That's a really big swing. So definitely I think it'll impact them. I mean, dude, you get a cold front. Like I know there are some folks, if you look on the internet, you will find people who will be like, prefrontal is like my bread and butter. Right before that front hits, and then afterwards it's dead. And then there are people who are just like, oh no, post-frontal, I kill them in this technique or whatever, blah, 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 blah. So it's a little bit different depending on, like you can find people who make a claim one way or the other. The reality of it is that, and then sometimes you'll have fronts that come through that are so small it doesn't really fire them up, or they're so quick. Like you have a cold front that comes through and then that next day it comes right back up and is starting to stabilize, but it didn't drop down low enough to impact anything like the water temp, you know, it was just a shift in barometric pressure. You get a big swing like that and that barometric pressure goes crazy. Todd, you remember the when we fished at St. Clair? This is last April. We fished up there. We got on the water at it was 4:20. Of course it was. It was 4:20 in the afternoon. When I got there on Friday, we fished and we lit them up. I think we caught at least 3 each. I think Todd caught more like 5. And we thought we had them figured out. And that night it dropped. It was like 80 degrees when we were on the water, like at 4 p.m. It was so hot. Like the tire pressure gauge in my car was like fucking higher than I ever fucking seen it. Like it was crazy. And then it got down to like fucking below freezing. And then started to warm up again. But I mean, I think we only saw like 45, maybe 50 degrees, something like that. And it was crazy. And that turned them the fuck off. It was a grind. 8 hours, one fish.
Yeah.
You know, one fish. That's nuts. Yeah. So yeah, I would Eli for sure. Like it can affect the bait fish and it can 100% affect the predators too. But like John said, if you're catfishing, that's good news. Because they're gonna fucking eat up on all those dead fish. Now for this one, you guys got your popcorn? You might want it. I got 4 different emails, different voicemails rather, from Matt Thayer from Klondike Custom Creations, and I edited them down, and I got 10 minutes, 22 seconds. This is why I say this. This is what the hotline is for. He makes some really interesting points, and I think this is going to spur a little bit of conversation. So here we go, Matt.
Let me get comfy.
Hey guys, Matt there. I just wanted to call in, and I want to get you guys thinking a little bit on this whole Bassmaster Classic and then Randy Blockett deal. Just to say that I'm not a Randy Blockett fan. Some of his stuff is like kind of okay, but like I agree with you. He's a huge clickbait guy about this whole live scope thing. Also, I think that his terminology of unfair versus fair was misused and then kind of misinterpreted, for lack of a better term. I think the animosity that goes along with the live scope and the active target and all that is the forward-facing sonar is at the local tournament level or smaller level. There was kind of a par playing field, more of an even playing field back in, the days when there was little to no electronics, I guess, is kind of what everybody's saying. With generic depth finders and things like that. And anybody could outfish anybody with just those generic depth finders, and then even into 2D. The pros had it, and then they had color selectors, and they had this and that told you the pH of the water and all that stuff. But it was kind of more of an even playing field, for less than, and it was less money. The money aspect comes from a local tournament angler, or a club angler like myself, I think. And I'm not against live scope. I'm against how much money it is, really. And actually the live scope and forward-facing sonar, and then even the 360 that's out there, is actually very old technology in what comes terms to actual underwater exploration. My grandfather worked on these boats that could see miles with live scope and stuff like that. Before he passed, he told me that the whole live scope thing was close to archaic. He ate dinner with the guy that invented side scan technology in 1983. So it's kind of a moot point. But I mean, we're grasping at straws essentially with this topic. And I know you guys think it's played out and everything. And I don't feel as though that there was any animosity towards Mr. Nutt for winning the Classic. I think kind of he was used more as a scapegoat to an extent. I mean, and these people blame professional fishing for the downfall and live scope for the downfall of the sport. And it's not, to an extent, like to Bobby's point, there's more people that don't pay attention to professional tournaments than not. So than that do. And that's just the thing is like, it's kind of amazing to me how everybody just finds something just tries to latch onto something and tries to bitch about it. And there's no doubt in my mind that Randy's made thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars off of bitching about live scope and his clickbait nonsense. But there is an aspect, and there's an ask for every seat too. And there's another side to every single story. And I know I'm on my second phone call, and I'll probably end up leaving a third after I quit rambling, because I am going to have a question for you guys. But I wanted to make you guys think a little bit. So, anyways, to my point of the local tournament angler, or the weekend warrior, or somebody that fishes at the club level, when do you think the time is to hang it up? Hang up the tournaments, hang up the competition aspect, move to either move away from the club level or just start to fun fish. And not saying that it's Not saying to quit fishing altogether, but hang up the competition aspect when you can't afford it. And I'm not saying that I can't afford it, and I'm not asking this for myself, but I feel as though with the way that the tournament world is going, I think it's a lot of pay to play. So when is the time to hang it up? When is it to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, so to speak, on the tournament game? Is it worth trying to find a club that and doesn't allow live scope? You know, and even then, it's very hard to regulate that sort of thing. But I think it does really limit the participation aspect with local tournaments and stuff. And that's where a lot of this animosity comes from against all these electronics and these big, expensive boats and stuff. Because it's like, you know, I fish at the club level, and there's a lot of guys that don't travel. They're not professionals. They don't fish mainstream, you know, main big tournaments. And even the step above, like beer league deals, you know, like the common, the marinas that offer the tournament trails, and not knocking those, but you know, those are high barrier to entry, you know, and, but these guys don't even fish at them. They just fish at the club level, you know, and they pull up with $100,000 bass boat, and the bow of their boat between the trolling motor and the 3 screens on the front is more than what I paid for my whole boat and my last boat, you know, or, you know, and just the bow of the bow of their boat is worth more than somebody's whole rig. I guarantee it. That's fishing that club. So it is kind of a pay to play deal. And I would like to hear your take on when to throw in the towel, and not on all fishing, like I said, on the whole club aspect deal, tournaments. There's a competition aspect where you should always be able to compete, but if you don't have deep enough pockets, you can't. And you might be in the wrong sport for that too. So, you know, and it's a very long-winded, weird question. I might try to summarize it in an actual text and maybe send that to you, Bobby, but so you don't have to listen to me ramble anymore. But yeah, that's something to think about. And then if you guys ever have any follow-up questions, you know where to find me, you know. Again, fuck Randy Blockett. That dude's a douchebag. He's caught some fish in his day, but he's a fucking internet blowhard that uses fucking buzzwords and all that shit. And, you know, let Mr. Nut, you know, really let Mr. Nut just accept that he won that Bassmaster Classic and he worked hard to get there. That's really great, you know, and I am an old man in comparison to Dylan Nutt. I'm 29, he's 22, and I'm the average age of these guys on the pro circuit. And I know that I'm not going to go pro or anything like that, but you know, like I said, and I'm going to try to formulate an actual cohesive, comprehensive question, and then send that to Bobby. But you know, and then that being said, I hope to see some more people in the tournament and the flat tournament and the team tournament this year. Looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to some trash talk with Mr. Binya Outdoors, because I'm coming for him, and some nice healthy competition without a whole lot of bullshit. It'll be nice. So that's always an option too if you're thinking of hanging up the local tournament scene. Is join in on the Jigs and Bigs tournaments. Those are always fun. It's always a fun time. And yeah. So anyways, guys, sorry about rambling for so long, and I think this is my 4th call. But yeah. So anyways, take it easy, Bobby. Feel free to edit this or add in whatever you want. Not playing on the show, I don't care. But yeah, just take that question into consideration. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Keep it up. Cumberland Farms, 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 Cumberland Farms.
Oh, Mike. I had to.
Please do not have it.
I had to do that at the end.
Anywho.
But the thing is like I understand what Matt's saying. You know,
I do. I actually have a lot to this.
Okay, no, that's perfect. That's why I kind of wanted to make sure we didn't do this last.
I'm gonna ignore all the forward facing sonar stuff from the first 8.5 minutes.
Yep.
And I just want to get into the question because it makes my blood boil talking about the other shit. When it comes to the actual question, when's the time to hang it up? And before I even get into that, he mentioned something. It seems as though it's turning into pay to play.
Yep.
And my argument to that is that's 100% what it is.
It's always been that way.
That's what competition is.
Yeah.
And he's, and I guess, and I love Matt, but I love kind of going against the grain of Matt sometimes. I think him and I need to have a healthy face-to-face conversation because I feel like him and I look at the different spectrum a lot. But so here's where he kind of contradicted himself. He says, to kind of get out of the pay and play, go join the Jigs and Bigs slot limit tourney. Is that free?
No.
All competition is going to be pay to play.
I mean, when you're, well, I mean, not necessarily.
Sure, 99.9%.
Yeah, I see what you mean, especially at the club level. Like nobody's just doing that for free. But
yeah,
I think let me throw this out there. I think the thing is, he asked when do you know? Like, do you go to the blackjack table with no money in your wallet?
Right.
That's when it's time. You know what I mean? There's that. But also, you got to ask yourself, why are you competing? What's the point?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, for some people, I hear this one a lot when I interview folks. I want to see how I do. I want to see where I stack up against these guys. Okay, so do it. And if it's that you don't have the gear, then now you know. You had your experiment. Now go and just fish. If you're like, it's the community. Awesome. That's just a tax of the community. If that's how you get that community aspect is then okay. And we're talking entries, but the gear itself, I understand what he's saying. And cause you're right. It's always literally been pay to play. There were entry fees, all that stuff, doing the red fishing. Now, if I'm not mistaken, again, I don't follow fishing on a professional level. Didn't they do away with the buy-ins at the elites?
No,
because there was a whole thing about that. So that never happened.
I would have to do some research to that, but that's a little bit different. That's professional golfers don't pay to play in tournaments, but the amateur does go to play at the fucking country club. You know what I mean? That's kind of a little bit different, but I want to break it down a little.
Yeah, I'm not more entry fees. Yeah. But I mean,
I'm not going to get long-winded on it. Go ahead, Bobby. Go ahead, finish.
I was just going to say, in the sense of there's entry fees and such. That's awesome. It's, it has always been pay to play. I understand what Matt's saying is it's pay to play in the sense of you have to keep up with the Joneses, or you have to these guys have these boats and they can do such and such with it. Or, Matt's a tin rig guy like me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He's got a really nice bass tracker, it's aluminum, but he is, he's not, his boat overall is a fraction of what you spent in electronics, Joe, on your boat. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's got some tech on his boat, but it's kind of more in line with what I'm working with, 2D sonar, shit like that. Does that mean you can't fish? No, but if you're dealing with somebody, I mean, I understand like keeping up with the Joneses, but let's even be more broad. Fishing experience. You know what I mean? It's like you got to keep up with that. Those are the guys you ultimately have to worry about. Like, I'm not saying that like you're like fishing experience will always be the trump card in the equation. If you have all the tech but are a moron, and there's enough of those folks out there that are just like, oh, I bought this. Yeah, I can fish. Look, I caught a freaking 2-pounder. You know what I mean? Like there are people, they expect that's how it's going to be. I know it's the other way around, but I'm talking about that one slice. So that's a share of it. If you put that technology in somebody that's got 30, 35, 40 years of fishing experience, number one, they're going to learn things that they've never, ever had access to. And number two, you've now got a lethal combination. You know what I mean? That's like the best case scenario.
Yep.
You know, I do want to say MD 8883 Outdoors says smaller payouts also now.
Yeah, he's right on that. Yeah.
That's how it works if you're not paying in.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. That's your pot. Like, I hate to say it, but like that's what tournament fishing is. It's gambling. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, and yeah.
Yep.
So go ahead, Joe. I'm going to shut up.
About fucking time. I'm just kidding.
No, like Matt.
Here's where I got a couple points to make here.
Yep.
Okay. So Matt doesn't think, essentially what I got, he doesn't think it's fair that he rolls up his bass tracker with 2D sonar, and then someone like me rolls up in their Icon with all their fucking shit and they're fishing at the same tournament. I understand some people think like that, and I'm okay with that. And I'm good with that. Here's where it sucks to live in New England. All the big fishing hubs, your southern states, and basically fucking the Carolinas South, they have infinitely more clubs than we do. Clubs that
it changes
only
things.
allow boats that were made this year and under, boats that only have this type of electronics, boats that are this many feet, boats that have this size engine. You know, they have clubs specific to all this stuff that basically fits everyone in what they want perfectly. We are obviously not the bass fishing or fishing mecca of the world. No. So we don't have that. Yeah. The closest thing we have is that kind of separates it is that I know of off the top of my head is like the aluminum series. That's like straight up just like tin boats.
Yep. Which is weird because some of those boats are rigged like your Icon. You know what I mean?
Yep. 100%. 100%. And it's like, so that's all I really like say to that. Like, I get it, but I also shouldn't be penalized because, no, I don't want to say that. That makes me sound like such a fucking asshole, and I don't want that. Man, how do I say this? Like, I have been blessed in my life to have the boat that I have.
Yep.
I should be penalized because I worked my ass off, got myself in a position to get my dream boat with all the dream stuff I want.
And I don't know necessarily that's
and I don't think that's what he means. And I'm not saying that's what he means, but I just want to say that. So before I get on a rant here, I just want to get to the question. When is it time to hang it up? Here's the unfortunate part about fishing. You can't really use, I guess you can use the competitive aspect like me.
Yep.
Dude, I am definitely 1000% in the hole from tournament fishing when it comes to entry fees, gas, equipment, whatever.
All that, yeah.
However, I have the unfortunate gene of like I thrive off of competition, whether I'm good, bad, or indifferent.
Yep.
I grew up playing competitive sports. I've been in the military for 23 years, which is a fucking competition in and of itself.
Yeah.
It's just something I feel as though I need. I'm in my 40s now. I can't play pickup basketball or even like hockey anymore. Yep. Like this is my competition. So I will continue to do those as long as I can afford it, essentially.
Yeah.
But fishing, as in when it comes to the monetary value of it, fishing in of itself will always cost you money, just like any other hobby.
Yeah.
You know, dude, like golf. outside of like the cost of a boat, golf is still infinitely more expensive than fucking fishing.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Skiing,
right?
Yep,
skiing. Like there's really there's no free hobbies out there. But when it comes to hanging it up, the actual, like I said, I was going to get to this question. The last 6 fucking sentences I said. I don't think that I can answer when is it a good time to hang up for anybody but myself.
Yeah, I could agree with that wholeheartedly. I think you got to look inward.
Yep. You have to. I guess if I'm gonna say it in the most generic way possible, is when the competition, when you dread the competition, it's no longer fun.
I think that, and Bert says this perfectly. He goes, he's getting fired.
Yeah.
I think that my thing is this is you got to look at it like what is a tournament? You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like what is it? It's measuring your fishing abilities on that day and your good fortune to to figure something out, like whatever that is. Chad Hoover has this great formulation for fishing success. Experience on the water. I forget what the other one is, but one of those was luck. And it's a relationship. It's like that business saying where like you can have something done good, you can have it done fast, or you can have it done cheap, but you can't have all three. It's like one of those things, Can you win tournaments on luck? Yeah, if you're lucky. It doesn't happen all the time. You can't bank on it, but it is what it is. For some folks, you got to look inward and think like, so what do I need from this tournament? Like some people, like they're doing their... what do you call it? Some people will go out and they'll fish like these smaller, like Wednesday night pickups in their area. Sure. And that's kind of the way they bond. You know what I mean? Like that's just their thing. It's just like going to like fucking play trivia at the bar, same kind of idea. Like it's all sort of like, it is what it is. I will say that for some people, like I know folks who like, they're so disenchanted with fishing competitively overall that right now it's just a group chat with some friends, and every month they submit photos to that small group and they pay out like each other, in one of them plays banker like that. Like if that's how you want to do it, there's nothing stopping you from doing that. You know what I mean? Like you're still using the same public resource, the same everything else. He mentioned the Jigs and Bigs stuff. Like those tournaments are not for the crazy competitive. Like, the entries on like some of the team stuff or like I think it's like $30 a teammate. It's nothing crazy. For the multi-species scavenger hunt stuff, like the month-long ones are a little bit more. It's like, and that is specifically so we can make the pots a little bit more interesting when people win them. Yep. But these folks that like, they go and they only enter tournaments where like, oh, I know I can win this because I've got X number of years experience and this is the only place I fish. Like shit like that, you're always going to have that. You're always going to have somebody who shows up with like the new gear. That would be a good content idea, Joe, for you and I, for YouTube, some collab shit where we do like a... like I've seen videos before where they're just like all the different truck guys or like all the different guys you'll see in a gun shop. If we did like all the dudes you'll see at a tournament, you know what I mean? And we just kind of like play that up. Like, oh, the guy who's got like no real live well, but like a cooler that's full of fucking water and like, a few Alka-Seltzer tablets or some shit like that.
Or even better, or even better. We definitely need to collab on YouTube.
Yeah, we do. We need to make that happen.
I'm glad you mentioned that. But, even something like, dude, maybe you and I both bring our boats to a body water we've never been to.
Yeah.
And just be like, hey, yes, I got the technology. Bobby doesn't. But that doesn't mean like we are allowed to do whatever research of the lake we want to do and then we're going to go and we're going to have a little healthy, friendly competition to see like,
dude, that's a great idea.
You may have done better research than me on the topic, or maybe if we do, I like this. How about this, Bobby? You are able to look at all the topographical mapping you want and everything.
And you're not.
And I'm not. until I get there, and I can use my Lake Master.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea at all. I would say, honestly, you know what I think we could do? Because I think it's going to be hard to find a body of water that we both haven't fished. I think it would be easier to find one that we both have. You know?
Or even something that we haven't fished in a long time.
In a while. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea.
Like, what's that one out in Anoda?
Oh, yeah, man. Well,
I've only fished that like once or twice.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it's small enough, too, to be able to figure out. Like, you can, I would 100% be game for that.
Something like that. Pontusic. I've never fished Pontusic.
I've never fished Pontusic. That, holy shit, that was easier than I thought. That's a good idea. We should definitely do that. And like Binya and I have done that. Last year we did a slot limit tournament where the goal was, and here's what's crazy, dude. Like, here's what's fucking crazy. And I love Binya. He's a good dude. But I'm going to fucking embarrass him a little bit here. So we fished this body of water that one of the absolute hammers in the slot limit tournament had just absolutely kind of gotten us hip to. We fished a slot there together in my boat, and it was great. Like, I think I caught like 4, 5, 16s. Like, it was crazy. It was, I did really, really well there. And it's a cool body of water, but it's small enough that you can really make some shit happen. Launch is sketchy, but it's a great spot. So we're out there, we're doing our thing. Like, I think a couple months went by. We're like, we should do a video where we do now Binya has the Lowrance Eagle Eye on his kayak. So he's got live scope. And he's like, we should do kayak with live scope versus boat without. And actually, at the time, I had no electronics at the boat. I had no fish finders on my boat at this time. And the video was great. Like, it was awesome. But here's the thing. I caught a shit ton of fish that did not hit the minimum until I think I caught one that measured, and then I caught a second. But at the end, like the buzzer beater, I got like a 116 in like 80 feet of water. And it was ridiculous. It was crazy because the guy that turned us on to this one body of water was also in the tournament, was also there when we launched. And in fact, he forgot his catch board, and he was like, I don't mean to be a douche, but I've got a friend of mine dropping it back off to me. He goes, in the meantime, can I zip over to your boat and measure and borrow your catch board? I was like, yeah, absolutely. No problem. Dude won the tournament. He won it on the same body of water where I caught 1 or 2 fish, and I think Binya caught 1 that he entered. And like, it got to the point where like, it was the last 2 hours of the tournament. Binya paddles over to like where there's some shade from the trees and just took a nap, and it was like, we were both like, what the fuck? This is crazy. Like, it was just absolutely bananas. And like, it's just, and the thing is I'm telling this more as a story than anything else. That's one instance, but it's variables like that make it interesting. So,
Yep.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think we got one more call from the one and only Eli. Who else but Eli?
Hey, it's Eli. I have a question for Live. Well, I figured I'd give you a hard one this week and then an easy one. So here's the easier one. I don't know if it's easy, but easier. So I was listening to Dave Erke's podcast, and the guest that he had on has a bait that is in his name and all this. And listen, Joe, I know you work with Fish or Die. Bobby, I know you just love to fish. So my question is, what does innovation look like for you guys? Is something where, and this could be innovation in baits, this could be innovation in boat things. Is this something where you guys are out fishing and you're like, man, I really wish I had this? Is that where that starts? Are you seeking out like to make something new? Where does that look like for you guys? Joe, Bobby, is there a product that you have worked with a company before? Joe, is there something on the horizon? Obviously, I don't want you to give anything away, but is there something on the horizon in terms of baits or something like that that maybe you've thought about? But what does that look like as somebody that's trying to aspire to have some influence somewhere? I know Dark Horse, I know Brian Parker does a lot with them in terms of like, oh, this would be cool in the box, or this would be, and I'm just a guy that loves to get them and throw them and be like, hey, this is really good. They have done a lot of innovation here. So what does that look like? What does that innovation look like for you guys? with maybe companies or products that you work with, or things that maybe you wish to have built?
I have a great answer for this, Bobby.
Go ahead.
So I actually like this because personally, I just don't have a creative mind. I don't have a creative, innovative mind.
It's funny
to where, because if I did, I would drive myself. I would end up in a straight jacket in a loony bin.
Yeah.
Because my brain would hurt. I don't have. Some people just have creative, innovative minds. I do not have one of those. So that's the answer for that. So yeah. I don't try to rack my brain on something like, ooh, what would be the next innovative bait? Like I just can't. I don't have that artistic, creative mind. However, I work with people that have those creative, artistic minds.
Yeah.
And like, I'm very like pessimistic in the aspect, and we've talked about it a million times, like, oh, there's just, I don't know what else they could possibly do with a bait. There's just nothing left. And then something surprises us where I'm like, oh, no shit. That's what I see as innovative.
We just talked about one.
We just talked about innovative bait. Yeah, exactly. 100%. The ones that I'm like, no shit. I was like, Taylor at Fish or Die. He has a very creative brain.
Yep.
Obviously. Every time, like when he first told me about the shredder, he's like, dude, a soft plastic hair jig. I'm like, huh? I literally was like, what? And I was like, I don't know. And I was like, I guess I'd have to see it. He fucking drew it up, showed me. I'm like, okay. Then I saw the prototype. I'm like, holy shit. I mean, it had to have been something if it caught John Cruise's attention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
In missile baits. So that the short answer is I am not I don't find myself an innovative person on any level in the fishing community or in the fishing industry. I don't have a innovative or creative mind. However, when it comes to other things right now in the fishing industry, because it is so flooded and with so much shit right now, it's that thing that like wows me. That's what I see as being innovative.
Yep. No, I definitely see that. Like, and the thing is, I think that innovation, like that word gets thrown around a lot, but I think when you have somebody that takes something that like really improves, I'll give you a perfect example.
Slot tech.
That's innovation. Yeah. You know what I mean? You've fixed a problem that somebody had that you can now apply to create it's a fresh idea. You know what I mean? And like, you're going to see like things are going to look at the dice baits, the fuzzy dice. Yep. Like there were the initial ones that came out that kind of were like, what's this all about? And then all of a sudden you had like imitation is the highest compliment in some ways, you look at the bladed jig.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and you can try to, so like you can take and try and innovate off of something and improve on it somehow in whatever way. So like, it gets a little bit muddy, like with the chatterbait, but look at the jackhammer, like where they worked with Evergreen and they created that different connection point. Now, all of a sudden it's kind of a whole other beast. And now that patent's gone, so people are kind of jumping all over it. I don't know. I think that for in the fishing industry, it can apply a lot of different ways. What's a real, I think an innovative item that I used just today was my vessel view for my motor from Mercury.
Yeah.
You want to take a guess how many hours I have on that boat now after all of last year?
How many?
I started with 28.
Yep.
All right. Now I started last year with 28, 70. Nice little jump up right there. Little jump up, fishing bigger bodies of water, getting around a bit. Yep. And fishing for the full season. I was like, okay, all right. I'm okay. I'm all right with that. That's good. But yeah, I think for me, that's kind of the big thing. Is it possible that like we're never going to see any more innovation in soft plastics or one specific type of, I think that little target of creativity or innovation, it gets narrower and narrower and narrower. And all you can do is try to improve on something that much, much more effectively. But that's an interesting one. We'll throw this last minute live well in here from Pat Martin. He goes, is Binia going to come on or submit video for a drums segment going over tournament standings? I think this is what Pat is talking about.
Yeah.
Those drums. Yes. That is the short answer. Yes, he is going to be on, probably doing both, dropping a video. So there'll be some social media side of this, Instagram, Facebook, everything. But on the show, we're going to have that also play through. So you'll be able to stay up to date on what's going on tournament wise. Keep in mind that for like the monthly stuff, it'll be once a month, maybe some updates here and there. The slot limits, those are going to, be other ones. So we're going to hear from Binia quite a bit as the tournament schedule lines up. Good shit. What a show this week. Like what a wild show. I'm hoping you guys enjoyed the interview that I recorded tomorrow with with Xander, Hobbyist Fishing. Go and check out Hobbyist Fishing on YouTube. Follow on Instagram as well. Really, really interesting stuff. Joe, you should check it out too, because he does a lot of like import stuff. I want to say like JDM, but like everywhere. Like some parts, like some Korean baits, some Chinese baits, like from all over the place. And very, very interesting stuff. But I think we're going to go ahead and call this one. I hope you guys had a good one. Remember to check out jigsandbigs.com. We've got a link there for Fishing Chaos. All of the tournament trail links, all of the registration is open. So take a look at your calendar, find out what worked for you, and go for it. Joe, you and I this week will figure out. We're doing April, right?
Oh, yeah.
The team tournament. Yep. Do you want me to choose the name, or do you want to work on this together?
Let's work on it together.
All right. I'll text you this week. We'll figure it out. We'll come up with a name.
All right. Sweet.
I love it, dude. This is good stuff.
All right.
Guys, we will see you next week in 7 days with more Jigs and Bigs goodness. We appreciate you. Like we always say.
Tits and ass, smoke some grass.
I'm waiting for the right time to many discounts does USAA Auto Insurance offer? Too many to say here. Multi-vehicle discount, safe driver discount, new vehicle discount, storage discount, legacy.
How many discounts will you stack up? Tap the banner or visit USAA.com/auto discounts. Restrictions apply.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.